Okay. Good evening, everybody. I feel a lot better now. KKK. Yep. Carol. So, Carol, did you catch that video I sent you? I'm going to go show that first thing. That church got burned down, another church in Georgia. Yeah, there's a big fire. That one guy. We'll go there. We'll go there in a few minutes and get an update. Hey, Paul. Yeah, I got a little sick of what I ate. I got a heartburn, so I had to take rest for a couple hours. I think I'm going to do a long from 5 to 9, I think, or something. Because baseball starts on actually Wednesday. Is the first game, and so there's be a lot of games going on, the March Madness and everything, and then the basketball playoffs, and then hey Tim, I got that one guy on. Yeah, it was a heartburn. I ate something I shouldn't have ate. That Chinese guy on YouTube, he has a 20-minute one. I don't know if you want me to play it or not. Paul and Tim with the gold and silver. Wow, still no Billy Bean out. Uh, Trisha has a live video right now on AOC about the 19,000 K or something. She's doing a video on it right now. I don't know if you guys want to hear that Robert Mueller documentary video. I don't want to listen to it. Yeah, I was telling Kay also about the ceasefire of Iran. I guess uh, they gave him 5 days for a ceasefire. And Doug has it on video, but I'm afraid to play Doug anymore because I get a copy strike when I play him. Not a strike, but a copyright when I play him. So I don't know if I should play him or not. Any pizza, any top. Okay, is this Alexander from Great Britain? Was it him? It was Great Britain or England? I was going on earlier, but I got a little heartburn. I had to take a few hours off. Aruba. Yeah, that's what it was. I can't remember where it was. How's it going? Been busy working? Okay, I don't know where Lucy's at. So we're going to start off with, I guess, the video on that church in Georgia. How's things going over in Aruba, Alexander? Any change yet? Or you guys changed over yet? Shoot. I guess I have to go on the YouTube. Oh, here we go. Hopefully Lucy will be in here. And who else are we missing? Bunch of everybody else.
I started making a thumb. I was like, I'm not coming out for this. And then it just kind of kept progressing a little bit. I was like, okay, I'll come on for a little. And then look, it's like, I don't know how long it's been now.
I guess Rome,
The day
Georgia.
flew by today. Today was the first day back at school for the kids, at least in my area. Some kids are just getting spring break today. My daughter had spring break last week. And so by the time I dropped her off, I feel like I blinked my eye. It was time to go back and pick her up. Crazy.
Is that 73?
And a lot of craziness.
Okay,
We had the
man.
airplane
Okay,
incident
bro.
today. We had a helicopter crash. I didn't even cover the helicopter crash. Helicopter crash. I heard actually
Where she's
supposedly TSA did a
located,
good
I'm
job
not being able to find her right now.
in Atlanta. In Atlanta, apparently TSA did a good job. I think it's like cleared the wait time is 40 minutes. Oh, I mean ICE. ICE did a good job, apparently, is what they're saying. A lot of weird stuff. There was I don't know if you guys heard of this wacky story too. Viral video shows musician 39 taking off clothes before Ring a 61-year-old Alzheimer's patient.
There's Jose.
And like you can see the guy walking around the room.
I got a little
crazy.
heartburn. I was eating taquitos
Walking
and
around in some
sauce, and I
boxer
got
shorts,
I got
boxer.
sick. But
Her daughter
I
Camille
just
had
needed a
installed
few hours.
cameras to keep an eye on her ailing mother. I just saw a man sitting on her bed, bending over and tying his shoes,
Made
and
it.
walked out. Insane, bro. One of the other articles I read, they say like he had walked out with like a condom and just like tossed it like nothing. Fucking like animals, bro. Just like living among us, waiting to take advantage of any kind of person they can. The guy's name is Jonathan Michael Alvarado. Man contracted to perform music for members of the elderly care facility.
Okay.
So he was contracted by the facility.
That's the update on that fire there. We got snow today, Lucy. We got flurries. .6 minutes. You see this? Okay.
A meteor the size of a small boulder streaked across our region before breaking apart, creating loud booms heard by so many people. One spring area woman even says a piece of it crashed through her home. Now, experts say that moments like these can help us better understand just what is flying through space. So let's get some answers. Joining us now is Dr. Carolyn Sumners with the Houston Museum of Natural Science. Doctor, thank you for being with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, it looks like you're probably
rock in New York.
I know, right? Are you a little excited about this? What exactly did people see and hear when this meteor came through?
Well, it's often called a bolide, but it's a meteorite when it hits. It's a meteor when it gets in the atmosphere. It was a meteoroid when it was way out there, and it's a meteorite when it hits. Usually when they bring it to us, it's a meteor wrong. They're hard to identify.
I mean, very well said, right? I mean, because we really don't want these crashing into homes.
Right. And they don't very often. But a lot of things act like one. In other words, you find something strange in your yard and go, oh, well, must be a meteorite. Usually it's your neighbors. Who knows? But anyway, a meteor, this is a sample of a meteorite. This is not like hers because this one is iron. It would do a little more damage. But you can touch it. We have all kinds of meteorites here, and they're all designed to be touched. So if you want to touch a piece of Mars or a piece of the Vesta asteroid or a piece of the moon, we have them actually on display and you can touch them. What's cool about hers, if you look at the picture, is she's got the fusion crust, that black crust that forms only as the meteor comes through. And usually by the time we get anything, it's a real meteorite that's gone. But she's got a fusion crust, a meteor that Armand Iramadegui long ago collected for the museum, has that crust that's formed as the meteor goes through the atmosphere before it hits. I looked up how big they have to be to do damage, and found out some interesting things. If a meteor is the size of a microwave, it probably, when it's way up in space, it probably won't ever make it to the surface. But if it's the size of a car, we might get one of those per decade. So that shows how rare the one falling through the house was. Most things just don't make it very far in our atmosphere.
Okay, because they usually burn up, but in a case like this, it's broken apart, right? So if you had one the size of a car, it might break up into these pieces that could be chunks like the one that we found, right?
Yeah, it could destroy your mailbox if you had one the size of a car.
I would think so.
or a little hole in your ceiling. I mean, it doesn't do much damage. It takes a lot. You know, if you look at all of the NASA things about heat shields on your spacecraft before you come home, and all the tiles and everything, that's because we don't want things to burn up in the atmosphere. But unprotected, like a rock is, it's going to get very damaged by the atmosphere.
Okay, so tell us about the science behind what type of rock this is. You just mentioned that that some are iron, others can. I mean, how can we tell if it is a real meteorite? And then by studying it, what do you find about where it came from?
About 2 minutes.
Well, we can first of all tell where something comes from by this chemical composition, by what's really it's made of. Because a lunar meteorite, that fell off, that got knocked off the moon and shows up here. And they're probably fell thousands of years ago, but we collect them. We can tell by the chemical composition of them. The one meteorite we have on that you can touch that came from Mars has the chemical composition in its little inclusions that matches the atmosphere of Mars. So that was very cool. And we even have one meteorite that came from a big asteroid called Vesta. This one probably is a stony. Meteorites that we find tend to be stony because most rocks that come through are stones. But the ones that were once the center of a much bigger object made of iron, like this guy, this is from the Barringer meteor crater in Arizona. These are rarer when they fall, but more common when they're found because iron is picked up by a metal detector.
Oh, okay. And so we can actually find its way back. So, I mean, as we wrap this up, because we're definitely looking forward to seeing the results of all of this, and hopefully NASA will share those. Why do you think moments like these capture so much attention?
It's somebody coming in from space. I mean, we sit here in our little bubble of our big atmosphere surrounding us, and we never know really, we can't touch what's beyond us. Very few of us will ever walk on the moon, no matter how great Artemis is. But if you come to the museum, you can touch rocks that are from far, far away and long, long ago. Many of these meteorites were not protected as they formed, and don't have years of wearing out, erosion, that kind of thing, like rocks do on Earth. So they tell us what the universe is like. We have one rock that's older than the Earth. And that's really cool.
Okay. I love your enthusiasm for this. Thank you, Dr. Sumners, for joining us.
So that was an interesting one update with that, what happened on Saturday. Okay, let's see, we got the two videos from her today.
Out and says, hey, we're in talks with Iran, and I'm going to kind of delay, blowing their assholes off the planet for 4 or 5 days. So he says we're having some good negotiations. So how about as soon as he puts that out, Iran gets on their typewriter and puts out a statement saying, basically, this is what they said: you a damn lie. We're not negotiating, and we're just going to ramp shit up. So then they bombing the shit out of Israel. Almost hit a nuclear research facility. Steadily screaming, we're not backing down.
Hey,
and then they put this little statement
it's
out.
not
That
a way.
one that says, ha ha.
It's just was a
Trump,
heartburn.
after our firm, stern warning, has backed down. Well, then I started thinking about it. I was like, now what is going on? What is going on? Because I know he don't want to blow up a power plant. It's going to take years and years to rebuild it, and it's going to screw the people up. But do y'all remember when he basically said nothing was going to happen with Venezuela? And then in the middle of the night, he snatched that man completely out of his damn pajamas. Do y'all also remember that all of a sudden we woke up and all of a sudden we're at war with Iran? Right. Trump's very sneaky, okay? So let me tell you what. I think that something's going to happen in the next few days, just like he did with everybody else when he says we're not putting boots on the ground, and 15 minutes later the Marines are being deployed. Trump's not going to give away his hand. He's got this under control. The second thing is Mondami goes and puts the Muslim, the same people that tore into the trade towers and put their planes into our buildings and unalived over 3,300 people and took out the whole fire department of New York. He places the prayer rug right in front of the plaque that's an immemorial for the fire department of New York. So, of course, there was backlash, especially from the fire department. Lots and lots of backlash. Well, then get this. So later on, the fire department comes out and says, we didn't mean no disrespect. We've never seen that before. Are you fucking kidding me? This is what's wrong with us right here. We are constantly worried about somebody else's feelings. You don't mean no disrespect by getting angry that they stuck their fucking prayer rug in front of the fucking memorial plaque of all the men that died that day, and people and service animals. You know how many dogs, you know how many freaking search dogs died in that? You know how many people died? You know how many people's died since then from cancer? We don't mean no disrespect. This is what's wrong with the United States right here, guys. Right here. Good afternoon, guys. Want to catch you up.
Okay, important one there.
If I'm not working, I'm cleaning. If I'm not cleaning, I'm feeding animals. I wanted to let you guys know something. So, France, England, and Paris, glad you're coming to your senses about what's going on in Iran, because that 2,500 mile mark that Iran hit with their missile, that includes you. You're in that range, okay? Do you know how much damage one of their missiles can do if they hit one of you guys? By the way, I know a lot of you already know this. For the people that don't, did you know that an Iran defector told the United States that Iran participated in, helped, assisted, was a part of, and knew all about 911? They had the biggest part in it that you can imagine, okay? Not only that, a judge agreed in 2012 when the victims of 911 sued the country of Iran and actually got billions of dollars of judgment. Of course, none of them have seen any of it. This is what I want to say. Gas is going to go up. Food's going to go up. When we hit those power plants, they are going to destroy everything in their power. We are probably going to have a tough time ahead of us. Trump has demanded and stated that it is an emergency and California has to reopen that pipeline. Things are going to get tough. Gas is going to go up. But when you are complaining about that higher gas, would you rather be wearing a gas mask? Let me tell you something. Once again, Iran has unalived thousands upon thousands of Americans, and they have attacked Americans constantly. They were 10% away from getting a nuclear weapon. When they got it, you don't chant death to America and try to unalive Americans nonstop and then get a nuclear weapon and go store it in the basement and don't worry about it. We were about to be unalived. We were 6 months away. And if they can get 2,500 miles, can you imagine the damage that would be done? And yes, somebody's got their brights on. And which, by the way, what the fuck is up with everybody driving with their brights on lately at night and they won't dim them? And this guy's just parked with his light shining in my face. So now y'all get to see me. But let me tell you something. I, for one, am tired of explaining why we went to war with Iran. I'm tired of explaining how horrific the regime is. I'm tired of explaining that the fact that they have a nuclear weapon and was going to use it against us. I'm tired of explaining about the Obama handing them cash money and basically funded this. I'm tired of it. If you are too stupid to understand why we did in Iran, then all I can say is shut up, sit down and shut the fuck up. Pace yourself because you got 3 more years. Trump's got this. He's going to handle it. Hang tight, guys. It's probably going to be a real rough ride here for the next few. But let me tell you something. If Trump was not in office, we probably wouldn't be here in about 6 or 7 months. Now, I mean what I say. This man knew more than what we know, okay? Hang tough, guys. Hang tight and hang in there. It's going to get rough. Good evening, everybody.
Okay, 2 important ones today from her. Okay, I got a short clip from 9/11.
The debris here is spread over a 3 to 4 mile radius, which has now been completely sealed off and is being treated, according to the FBI, as a crime scene. Governor Tom Ridge made some remarks earlier at a press conference. He had flown over the site. He said the emergency response here was immediate. He also said, and I don't know whether or not you all are able to see pictures of this, but this is one of those cases where the pictures really do tell the story, that sort of the most horrifying aspect of this particular crash scene is how little debris is visible. There is a large crater in the ground, and I'm hoping that you all are seeing it as I'm talking about it, but that's really all you see is a large crater in the ground and just tiny, tiny bits of debris. There's been at least one report that the investigators out there, and there are hundreds of them, as I said tonight, have found nothing larger than a phone book.
I want to get quickly to Chris Kanicki. He's a photographer with the Pittsburgh affiliate, the Fox affiliate. He was back there just a couple of minutes ago. And Chris, I've seen the pictures. It looks like there's nothing there except for a hole in the ground.
Basically, that's right. The only thing you could see from where we were was a big gouge in the earth and some broken trees. You can see some people walking around in the area.
I don't think I never saw this
one.
one.
There wasn't much left.
Any large pieces of debris at all?
No, there was nothing that you could distinguish that a plane had crashed over.
Smoke, fire?
Nothing. It was absolutely quiet. It was actually very quiet. Nothing going on down there. No smoke, no fire. Just a couple of people walking around. They looked like part of the NTSB crew walking around looking at the pieces.
How big would you say that hole was?
From my estimates, I would guess it was probably about 20 to 15 feet long, and probably about 10 feet long or 10 feet wide.
What could you see on the ground, if anything, other than dirt and ash? And
you couldn't see anything. You could just see dirt, ash, and people walking around.
Welcome, Nadia. First time to chat. Did you see a Boeing at the crash site? What do you guys think? When new people come in, I normally ask what state they're from. I'm from Michigan, and we got backup channels if you haven't got to my backup channels. And I got over 1 million views. Been doing this since 2020. Hope you like my channel. Just be respectful. That's all I ask. Florida.
Of the former mayor of North Miami. You see, according to court documents, this man right here, his name is Felipe Ben-Ami. He came from Haiti. He entered the United States illegally, and then once here, he used 2 separate identities to become a U.S. citizen. You see, the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, which for your reference, it's a sub-agency underneath the Department of Homeland Security, they conducted a full investigation, and they found the following. In order to get into the United States, Felipe switched out the photo in somebody else's passport, cut it out, and put in his own photo. And then using that fake passport, he was able to sneak into the country under the assumed name Jean-Philippe Hanvier. This happened, by the way, all the way back in July of 1995. However, Jean-Philippe was eventually ordered to leave the country. He was ordered to be deported by U.S. authorities. And allegedly, he did leave the country. That's because initially, Felipe appealed the government's deportation decision, but then later he withdrew his appeal and he told U.S. authorities that he did return to Haiti. But in actuality, he hadn't. Instead, according to court documents, he remained in the U.S. He began using a new alias, including a new name and a new birth date, and he got married to a U.S. citizen in order to gain permanent resident status. That marriage, by the way, was in and of itself illegal because he was allegedly, according to the documents, already married to someone over in Haiti. Regardless of that, though, it all worked. In 2006, he became a fully fledged U.S. citizen. And now you would assume, given this backstory, that Felipe would just count his blessings, be as low-key as humanly possible, and just be happy with himself for pulling off an amazing heist, enjoy his U.S. citizenship, and basically ride off into the sunset. But that is not what he did. Instead, Felipe entered local politics, serving on the Miami City Council for 6 years until eventually he got elected as the mayor of North Miami. And even in that position, he wasn't without, I guess you could say, controversy. Quote, in 2018, Janice Antoine, a former North Miami city administrator, filed a lawsuit against Ben-Ami and the city, claiming he had sexually harassed her for months and held her prisoner in a car while trying to have sex with her. The aide said her contract with the city was terminated in retaliation for filing the federal suit against Ben-Ami, a councilman at the time. Now, I will mention that this case was settled out of court for an undisclosed amount of money, and therefore there was no finding of guilt against Mr. Felipe. All right, just to pause here for a super quick moment, I'd like to introduce today's sponsor, Shenyun Performing Arts. It is the preeminent best Chinese classical dance performance in the world, but funny enough, they're actually based right here in the US, and they're not allowed to perform in China. Part of the show, it exposes the crimes of the Chinese Communist Party, and so ironically, they can't even go there. But the show itself is great. I've personally seen it several times, and the athleticism, the artistry, the stories are phenomenal. Some of them are touching, some are funny, a lot of them are thought-provoking, and you're not really allowed to film the show, but basically it looked exactly like the commercials do. Beautiful colors, a full orchestra right there in the theater. They also have the screen in the back that's perfectly timed with the dancers, so sometimes it looks like they're jumping in and out of the screen to tell the story, which is cool. But the best part is that it's just super uplifting in a moral sense. I feel like every time I watch it, I leave the theater as a better person than I did coming in. And most shows nowadays, at least in my opinion, are really subversive and they sneak in some communist elements. But Shenyun is different. They really showcase traditional culture. And even though it's Chinese, it actually probably resonates with everyone. So check it out. They have shows coming up in like 100 different cities: Dallas, Houston, New York, Memphis, Charlotte, Las Vegas, Phoenix, Seattle, pretty much everywhere else in between. And the best part is that to our viewers, they're offering a special promotional deal. Just buy your tickets over on the Shenyun website and use promo code Roman26 to avoid paying both the ticketing fee as well as the facility fee. That's again, promo code ROMAN26. I'll throw a link to the website where you can find all the different show dates and cities. It'll be down in the description box below. However, unfortunately for him, his luck basically ran out when the Trump administration began cracking down on federal immigration fraud. And part of the Trump administration's crackdown was checking for duplicate fingerprints in the immigration system. And when they looked at the fingerprint system, they found the same fingerprints for Mayor Felipe Ben-Ame and another man named Jean-Philippe Hanvier, who was the man who was previously deported. Quote, Ben-Ame's immigration fraud was discovered and confirmed through a comparison of fingerprints that he provided under the two identities. That comparison is part of an ongoing national initiative called the Historic Fingerprint Enrollment Project, a joint effort of the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services and the Justice Department. Which, just as an aside, is kind of amazing that this was not happening prior to Trump assuming office, but I guess now it is, and the fingerprints are actually getting compared to one another. Regardless, as such, Mayor Ben-Ame's citizenship is now in the process of being revoked, with federal prosecutors accusing Mayor Felipe of, quote, falsely telling authorities that he had not practiced polygamy and has not given any false testimony to obtain immigration benefits. Now, here I will, of course, mention that Mayor Felipe has still yet to have his day in court. And of course, this is America, and everyone in the country is innocent until proven guilty. Now, one other aspect of this case, which I guess you can say adds an additional layer of intrigue, is that according to the court documents that were filed in the case, Mayor Felipe, he was marrying and divorcing multiple women, sometimes apparently even on the very same date. Quote, adding to the intrigue are court documents that say that under the name Jean-Philippe Hanvier, he married Sarah Jane Ternier, and under the name Felipe Ben-Ame, he married Beatrice Gellin, both on the same date, June 20th, 1993, in Port-au-Prince. A U.S. immigration summary of Haitian government records showed that the marriage and divorce certificates for Hanvier and Ternier were found to be fraudulent. Meanwhile, the Haitian divorce records for Ben-Ame and Gellin were also found to be fraudulent, meaning that the paperwork is just so muddy, it's almost impossible to figure out what's really true and what's really false. Regardless, that is where the case currently stands. You have the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of Florida saying the following in a statement regarding Mayor Felipe's case, quote, United States citizenship is a privilege grounded in honesty and allegiance to this country. The fact that he later served as an elected mayor makes the alleged deception even more serious because public office carries a duty of candor and respect for the rule of law. Now, a reporter for the Tampa Bay Times was able to get Mayor Felipe on the phone. And once on the phone, he declined to comment, and he just referred the reporter to his lawyer. And the lawyer said the following, quote, we believe it is appropriate to address the allegations through the judicial process rather than through public commentary. We trust that any reporting will reflect that the matter remains unresolved and that no findings have been made. If and when his citizenship does get revoked, Mayor Felipe faces the prospect of getting deported back to Haiti, which, given the current state of that country, is not a great prospect. And so there you have it, the story of the former mayor of North Miami. If there are going to be any updates in this particular...
Okay, update from Florida, North Florida. Next one is 5 minutes, interesting one. I don't think we played this one.
Media refuses to cover, but it's happening right before our eyes. The quantum financial system, or QFS, is no longer a theory, no longer a distant promise. It is active, operational, and reshaping the global economy in real time. Let's break this down. As of now, QFS wallets are being issued and securely linked to verified users across all Basel IV compliant jurisdictions. This means that only those operating within strict asset-backed frameworks can participate. The old days of speculative banking, fiat manipulation, and paper promises are over. What's replacing it is a system built on real commodities, gold, silver, platinum, verified at every level by quantum encryption. And where is the heart of this reset? Basel, Switzerland, home to the Bank for International Settlements and the Basel Committee on Banking Supervision. Since 2023, these institutions have enforced Basel IV standards that forced banks globally to back their holdings with tangible assets. No more funny money, no more empty digits on a screen. Every single transaction within the QFS requires digital
How's
gold
this one,
authentication.
guys?
Without a certified gold certificate, the funds are rejected outright. This eliminates fraud at the root, guaranteeing that only clean asset-backed currency circulates. The fiat currencies we've all known, the dollar, the euro, the pound, they're being phased out. The old system is gasping its final breath. We're seeing this collapse in real time. Thousands of banks have either closed, merged, or folded under the weight of these new standards. The survivors, they're the ones compliant with Basel IV, now directly syncing with QFS protocols. Since early last year, these institutions have begun public testing of gold and commodity-backed rates, starting with revaluations of currencies like the Iraqi dinar. And here's where it gets personal. The QFS wallet is no longer a future concept. It's here. It's live. Many of you may already have yours. These wallets are linked to your biometric data, operated securely from your phone, and completely shielded from the manipulations of legacy banking. When you activate your wallet, any fiat funds in your old accounts will be converted, but only after verification and assignment of a gold certificate. The parallel system where fiat and QFS could coexist is rapidly ending. As of the last grace period in April, all transactions must meet the new gold-backed standards. Now, who's overseeing this transition? It's a global alliance. Swiss Banking Group, AG, provides structural oversight. Indus and BRICS nations anchor the commodity standards. U.S. Space Force ensures the quantum grid's security and integrity. Let's talk about what's been happening behind the scenes. On June 12, silent override signals were issued to both the Bank of England and Deutsche Bank, freezing their private ledgers pending seizure by international trustees working under QFS enforcement protocols. Over 3,000 shell companies tied to illicit activities from trafficking to fake climate funds have been digitally disbanded. More than 41,000 dormant fiat accounts linked to corrupt officials and shady NGOs have been flagged for liquidation, with their assets redirected into sovereign reparation pools. Make no mistake, this is more than just a financial shift. It's what some are calling a planetary exorcism, a purging of corruption at its deepest levels. And the integration of Nessera and Gessera, it's already moving forward. Between June 16th and 18th, the first community restoration credits will roll out direct payments to the people through the QFS. Fraud detection systems, codenamed Orion Shield, are sweeping through remaining legacy systems, ensuring no dirty transactions make it through. Every transfer is quantum verified, time-stamped, and permanently archived. Meanwhile, the highly anticipated MedBed technology is entering phase 3. Access will be tied directly to your QFS biometric wallet, ensuring that this advanced healing tech is used only for real, verified sovereign individuals. No imposters, no clones, no bad actors. And here's the immediate action step. Starting June 20, everyone will need to complete a one-time biometric handshake to fully activate their QFS wallet. This will unlock powerful new features, including secure links to local MedBed hubs and the Rainbow Treasury Allocation, a fund designed to distribute wealth fairly and transparently. The bottom line, this is no longer a matter of waiting for disclosure. We are living through it. And as the distractions of the old world elections, celebrity trials, staged cyber incidents dominate headlines, the real shift is unfolding where few are looking. What you're hearing, the chaos, the noise, the confusion, it's the sound of a system built on lies and theft, suffocating under the weight of truth. Stay alert, stay prepared. And remember, the future is not something we wait for, it's something we build together.
Okay, I hope that was good. I got short ones here. Yeah. Oh, where do they go? $2 minutes.
1,000 people in Lake Tahoe, California, to have a year to find out where they're going to be getting their electricity from because their previous provider, NV Energy, has ended their contract. And the reason they're ending their contract is because they have to meet other high resource needs. But who are these resource needs? Ironically, if you look up the AI reason why they're stopping this power, it does say it's because of data centers. But it says here, data centers have driven requests to triple the company's peak capacity. This is NV Energy. NV Energy's director of business development said at a regional business event in September, as first reported by the Las Vegas Review Journal, these are unprecedented times, he said during a panel discussion of the centers, adding, "We are excited to serve this load, but we cannot impact our existing customer base." Meanwhile, fast forward to now, some of the specifics are here. And by the way, this is a contract that is over a decade long. It says a utility serving 49,000 Lake Tahoe customers has a little over a year to find a new source for 75% of its power. Liberty Utilities, one of California's 3 smaller investor-owned power companies, alerted regulators this month that its main power supplier won't continue its contract after May 2027. This contract started in 2011. Liberty, whose territory sits on the border of California and Nevada, generates about 25% of its power from solar facilities in Nevada. And what was very interesting is they say we don't want to affect existing customers, but this contract and these customers under Liberty are their existing customers. And it looks like they're going towards being able to serve the data centers rather than these customers. They had to make a choice. Now, the rational decision would be, obviously, we're going to cover the people over companies. The problem is that's not how these individuals in these companies think. They're thinking in terms of contracts, cost, and things like that. These data centers are signing very long-term contracts at probably a nice cost. So you're up against a big giant in this one. It's really looking like.
So, yep, she must have changed her platform to news now. So that's good. So what we got here? Okay, this one is a 4-minute one. Interesting one here, guys.
Off. They see how many watts your electric toothbrush pulls. They send the record of that little event over wireless networks, bouncing through your neighbor's smart meters, all the way to the power company, where they keep record of all your electric consumption, volumes, and patterns every minute of every day, and store that data forever on computers that you'll never get to see. That data shows when you are at home, shows when you're sleeping, shows when you're on vacation, when you have visitors, when you use a lamp, a power tool, some extra computers, and if you look like you're running a business out of your home. It even senses when you bootleg energy off the grid. Your smart meter data shows a vivid profile of your personal living patterns and whether or not you were at home on the night of the murder. This is not electrical metering. This is personal surveillance. This is a search without a warrant every day. This is your personal private life going straight out through your electric meter to the power company, to the government, to the police, to the insurance company, to anyone who cut.
I wasn't sure about that one. Okay, let's do the next 3 here. Did we play this one last night, Flying Eagle?
March 22nd, the year of our Lord 2026. Robert Mueller has passed away. He was a special counsel for Crossfire Hurricane.
I can't remember.
And I'm going to show you some stuff.
See this one?
Here. Basically, Mr. Ratcliffe, Donald Trump's choice for CIA director, Senator Ratcliffe, literally grill Mueller and show the unbelievable hypocrisy, the unbelievable crock of unmitigated, unadulterated bullshit investigation that he put together that showed that 180-page report, ladies and gentlemen, that Mueller put together that showed there was no crime, but we can't exonerate him either. The prosecutors, I guess what you might say, job is to do not exonerate. They have to gather evidence, present that evidence to a jury of his peers, and get a conviction. When a crime hasn't been committed, listen to the word declination. When the prosecuting, team cannot find a crime, they've got to decline a prosecution. Just, you know what, we give up. There's no crime here. We decline to prosecute. Listen to me very carefully. This is a total, unmitigated, unadulterated crock of bullshit that this investigation, $20 million later, and Mueller just rode that horse and rode it right into the ground. I'm going to show you something. Ratcliffe interviewed him and how we have a system. You are innocent until proven guilty. It is a prosecution's job to prove that a crime was committed, then present that evidence to a jury of his peers. Okay? It's not their job to exonerate them. You have to watch this. And I had to watch it a couple of times to make sure that it sunk in. Okay? This is unbelievable. I have people on my team, and I taught one of my the team members is a retired Superior Court judge. We went over this. He was stunned by this, and this was a couple of years ago, when Mueller appeared before the committee. Watch this and pay it. You might have to watch it a couple of times, like I did, if you're average IQ. But this will show you how this was a total horse shit show. All right, pay close attention to this, and you might have to listen to it twice, but perk your ears up, pin your ears back.
If you'll let me quickly summarize your opening statement this morning. You said in volume 1 on the issue of conspiracy, the special counsel determined that the investigation did not establish that members of the Trump campaign conspired or coordinated with the Russian government.
Did not establish.
Activities. And then in volume 2, for reasons that you explained, the special counsel did not make a determination on whether there was an obstruction of justice crime committed by the president. Is that fair?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
All right. Now, in explaining that special counsel did not make what you called a traditional prosecution or declination decision, the report on the bottom of page 2 of volume 2 reads as follows. The evidence we obtained about the president's actions and intent presents difficult issues that prevent us from conclusively determining that no criminal conduct occurred.
Difficult issues. It was too difficult for the investigative team to put together a crime. Stay with me. This is really good.
While this report does not conclude that the president committed a crime, it also does not exonerate him. The special counsel's job, nowhere does it say that you were to conclusively determine Donald Trump's innocence or that the special counsel report should determine whether or not to exonerate him. It's not in any of the documents. It's not in your appointment order. It's not in the special counsel regulations. It's not in the OLC opinions. It's not in the Justice Manual, and it's not in the principles of federal prosecution. Nowhere do those words appear together because respectfully, Director, it was not the special counsel's job to conclusively determine Donald Trump's innocence or to exonerate him, because the bedrock principle of our justice system is a presumption of innocence. It exists for everyone. Everyone is entitled to it, including sitting presidents.
They said Donald Trump could not be exonerated. First off, in the 180-page report, they couldn't determine if a crime was committed, nor could they exonerate him. Stay with me. Here's the interesting point, and I have to stress it. The 180-page report that they put out, they could not determine if a crime was committed. There was no Russian collusion. Second of all, they made a determination that, well, we can't find a crime. There's no crime committed, but we can't exonerate him either. That's what Ratcliffe said. Ratcliffe is a brilliant man. He's now Trump's head of the CIA. It is not the prosecutor's job to determine if he is innocent. We presume that everyone is innocent. It is the prosecutor's job to determine, one, if a crime has been committed, and two, present that evidence to a jury of the person's peers. More importantly, when this occurred, this was in committee a couple years ago. I really, to be honest with you, this was such an unbelievable, unmitigated, unadulterated, horse shit show. It was literally, they were violating the rights of Donald Trump as they were speaking. They couldn't find a crime, and, well, we can't find a crime, but we can't exonerate him either. It's not the prosecutors or the special counsel's job to determine his innocence. Ladies and gentlemen, they were violating his rights because they had already made a determination that he was guilty of some sort of crime. We just can't find one, but we know he committed a crime someplace, sometime, somewhere. You want to talk about a shit show. You want to talk about a railroading a person. That's why Donald Trump is upset. That's why every decent attorney, that's why every conservative in this country is upset at Mueller and this whole shit show. This is war. Back then, they were basically waging war on Donald Trump. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the founder of EPAC, Ensure the Preservation of America and our Constitution. I have members on my team, former DOD intelligence and counterintelligence analysts, former CIA investigators, a judge. We brief each other each week. Watch this short clip. In fact, you can Google it. Ratcliffe interviews Mueller in the committee hearing. Okay, watch the whole thing. Like I said, I had to watch it a couple of times, so it really sunk in. These guys were basically railroading, and they knew they were railroading Donald Trump as they were putting it together. And then when they couldn't find any crime, declination means they've got to decline to prosecute it. They never even went that far. They couldn't find a crime, and they never declined. Well, there's no crime, so we need to decline. We can't prosecute it. They just pushed it out there. This is a shit show, a horse shit show of major proportions. Never in U.S. history has this happened before. And it's a war being waged on Donald Trump and you and I. And guess what? If these Marxists in our country and the many in Congress and in a bureaucracy in the United States, in D.C., if you're in their way of their goal, they will do this to you as well. Please go to preservingamericaepac.com. Watch my documentary.
So sorry if I replayed that, but some people might have missed it. Okay, see where I'm at. Next one here. Okay, I got a 9-minute one finding I'm not sure of.
Virtually untouchable. Stay with me, because what ancient philosophy reveals about this transformation will completely shatter everything you thought you knew about spiritual evolution. You see, people think empaths are stuck in an endless cycle of feeling, absorbing and suffering. But there's a stage beyond empathy that most people never even know exists, and it's absolutely terrifying for anyone who's ever tried to manipulate them. Here's what most people don't understand about the Sophia stage, and trust me, by the end of this, you'll never underestimate a spiritually awakened empath again. In ancient Greek philosophy, Sophia means divine wisdom, not knowledge, not intelligence, but wisdom that comes from the soul itself. It's the highest form of understanding that a human being can achieve, and when an empath reaches this level, something unprecedented happens. They don't just feel anymore, they know.
What do
But
you guys
here's where it
think?
gets absolutely
Okay?
fascinating and frankly, game-changing. According to ancient wisdom traditions, most people operate from 3 levels of consciousness. The first is instinct, pure survival. The second is emotion, reactive feeling. The third is intellect, logical thinking. But there's a 4th level that only the spiritually evolved ever reach, Sophia. Divine wisdom born from integrated experience, and empaths who've been through hell and back. They're fast-tracked to this level whether they want it or not. Listen carefully to what happens when an empath enters the Sophia stage, because this is where everything you thought you knew about empathy gets turned completely upside down. The empath in Sophia stage stops absorbing emotions and starts transmuting them. They don't take on your pain anymore, they see through it. They don't carry your burden, they illuminate the path for you to carry it yourself. This isn't coldness, it's what the ancient philosophers called enlightened detachment. They've learned the difference between compassion and codependency, between helping and enabling, between loving someone and losing themselves in someone. But here's the twist that will blow your mind. This transformation doesn't happen through meditation retreats or spiritual books. It happens through betrayal, through manipulation, through being pushed so far past their limits that they have no choice but to evolve or break completely. And empaths, they don't break, they transform. According to ancient wisdom, Sophia is achieved when someone integrates 3 sacred elements: knowledge of the self, knowledge of others, and knowledge of universal truth. The empath who's been betrayed repeatedly is forced to acquire all 3 at an accelerated rate. They learn about themselves, their boundaries, their worth, their non-negotiables. They learn about others, who's genuine, who's performing, who's safe. And they learn universal truth, that not everyone deserves access to their light. Here's what happens next, and it changes everything permanently. The Sophia stage empath develops what ancient philosophers called discernment of spirits. They can sense authenticity versus performance in seconds. They know who's genuine before that person even opens their mouth. They feel manipulation forming before it's even spoken aloud. This isn't paranoia. It's hard-earned wisdom operating at a frequency most people can't even comprehend. They stop explaining themselves to people who are committed to misunderstanding them. They stop defending their boundaries to those who never respected them in the first place. They stop pouring their energy into black holes disguised as people. And here's where it gets absolutely unstoppable. The empath at Sophia stage doesn't just protect their energy. They become selective about where they invest their light. They understand that their empathy is sacred, that their emotional capacity is finite, that their depth is a gift, not a resource to be exploited. But here's the part that will send chills down your spine. According to ancient philosophy, Sophia brings with it something called divine indifference, not cruelty, not apathy, but the ability to witness someone's self-destruction without feeling compelled to save them. The Sophia stage empath can watch you lie and not correct you. They can see you manipulate and not call you out. They can witness your pattern and simply walk away because they've learned the ultimate wisdom. Some people don't want help. They want an audience for their chaos. Listen to what happens when this wisdom fully integrates, because this is where the empath becomes absolutely magnificent. They develop what the ancients called sovereign presence. They no longer react, they respond. They no longer absorb, they reflect. They no longer rescue, they allow natural consequences. This isn't the empath becoming cold. It's the empath becoming complete. They've integrated their shadow, they've reclaimed their power. They've learned that saying no is just as sacred as saying yes. But here's where the philosophy gets absolutely fascinating. The Sophia stage isn't the end of empathy. It's the perfection of it. The empath doesn't lose their ability to feel deeply. They gain the wisdom to feel selectively. They don't stop caring about humanity. They start caring about themselves with the same intensity they once reserved for others. Ancient wisdom teaches that Sophia reveals itself through paradox. The Sophia stage empath embodies this perfectly. They're simultaneously the most compassionate and the most boundaried, the most understanding and the most discerning, the most loving and the most selective. They can hold space for your pain without taking it on. They can witness your struggle without fixing it. They can love you deeply while letting you go completely. And here's the moment when everything shifts into absolute clarity. The empath at Sophia stage stops seeking validation from others because they've found validation within themselves. They stop explaining their worth because they know it intimately. They stop proving their perceptions because they trust their inner knowing above all external noise. They've reached what ancient philosophers called self-sufficient wisdom. They don't need you to understand them. They don't require your approval. They don't seek your recognition. They've become whole unto themselves. But here's the final transformation that makes them absolutely untouchable. According to ancient wisdom, the highest form of Sophia is when someone can see the divine lesson in every wound, the sacred purpose in every betrayal, the gift hidden in every loss. The Sophia stage empath looks back at everyone who hurt them and feels gratitude, not because the pain was deserved, but because it forced them to evolve into someone they could have never become in comfort. They thank the narcissist for teaching them boundaries. They appreciate the manipulator for showing them discernment. They're grateful to the energy vampire for forcing them to protect their light. This isn't Stockholm Syndrome. It's spiritual alchemy at its highest form. Here's what the ancient philosophers understood that most people miss. Wisdom isn't the absence of pain. It's pain transformed into purpose. Suffering consciously integrated becomes the foundation of unshakable inner peace. The empath who reaches Sophia stage doesn't just survive their trauma, they transcend it. They don't just heal their wounds, they transform them into wisdom that lights the way for others. They become living proof that sensitivity, when refined by experience and elevated by consciousness, becomes the most powerful force in human existence. This is what happens when an empath reaches Sophia stage. They don't lose their heart, they gain their sovereignty. They don't become less feeling, they become more discerning. They don't stop loving humanity. They finally learn to love themselves with the same fierce devotion. And once you understand this transformation, you'll never see the journey of the awakened empath the same way again, because they're not just survivors. They're spiritual warriors who've earned their wisdom through fire and emerged not just whole, but holy.
Okay, I hope that was okay. I didn't know, did you guys know Trump was in Graceland today? I'm going to play that video, the first 20 minutes. He was in Graceland.
Smart founders know something most people miss. Get your domain name even if you're not ready to launch your business. With Wix.
Who doesn't love Elvis? Everybody loves Elvis, right? Hello. How are you? Hi. How are you? Nice to see you. Welcome to the second most visited product company.
This came out an hour ago.
Your house is number one. Pretty good too, right? Yes. Has it been nice to see you? Very good. Check we gave Elvis. Yeah, so it is. The highest award ever. Congressional Medal of Honor. President. Great. Nice to see you, buddy. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Angie, and I'm going to be your tour guide today.
Very good.
Yes, nice to meet you. Welcome to Graceland.
Looks great. Hello, everybody. We were here, and we're touting how well it's done with the crime stats, and over a period of 5 months, it's way down, and we're proud of it. We're going to come back in 2 or 3 months, and we'll have a very one of the safest cities. So Memphis went through a terrible thing, and like in DC, we're doing great, and every place we go, we're doing great.
This would be a good one, huh, guys?
Frank, I'd love to go to Chicago. I'd love to be invited to Chicago. We would get rid of crime in Chicago very easily, but the Democrats don't want to do that. I'd love to go to San Francisco. Would make it something. Would bring it back to where it was. And the mayor's working hard. He's a Democrat. He's working hard there, but we could do things that they just can't do. But every place we go, and Memphis, I guess you probably heard the crime numbers are way down. Most of them are down by 75% and more. And within 2 or 3 months, we'll have it down to over 90%. So you have to be happy. Elvis would be very happy about that, right?
Everyone loves Elvis.
I love Elvis. Elvis, they all say, did you know Elvis? So I knew Frank Sinatra. I knew most of them. Unfortunately, I never met Elvis, and that would be one I would have liked a lot. But I do like his music, I will say. So thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for coming and visiting us.
Okay, let's take a look.
All right. So welcome to the living room.
Go ahead.
I want you to meet Joel Weinstein.
Okay. Sounds good. Nice looking.
Yeah. So obviously, this is the Medal of Freedom that Jack accepted on Elvis's behalf at your office in 2018.
That's great. And you have it here? You keep it?
We have it on.
You're going to grab it?
Yes.
Somebody's going to grab it.
I hope I will okay with that background fine, Eagle.
We have over 1 million items across the street that we have in archives, and very well protected. Almost as well protected as you are.
Do you ever get tired of that music?
Never.
I don't think so.
Great. Genius is genius.
I don't get tired of that music. I hear it a lot.
As a matter of fact, this is actually the last Grammy Elvis won, and it was for the live recording of How Great Thou Art, which is what we were just listening to. Which I know that song was something that you played at the White House when you presented Elvis the Medal of Freedom.
That was a big day.
Yeah.
It was a great day. It was a great honor, actually. We have some wonderful people outside. We have some of the biggest politicians in America outside. And when they heard about Elvis, they said, we'll do that. So, how's the house doing? Good?
It's wonderful. It really is. It's, Elvis, wanted to live there forever. He's really the American dream. He was really an American. He made every American feel that they could have the things that he had. They gave them reason, and he actually made America great.
Yeah.
He really did. He gave people reason to feel that they deserve something, regardless of where they came from, regardless of who their parents were. Regardless of anything, he gave them the belief that they could be anything they wanted to be.
And does his music sell better today than it did during his prime?
He actually, the estate makes more money today than it ever made while Elvis was alive, even when accounting for inflation. Our new epic, which you really need to see, and hopefully you can in the White House, the new Baz Luhrmann epic biography, just incredible. Broke all records for any, beat the Beatles, beat Led Zeppelin, any other music biography. So he's really as relevant or more relevant today than he's ever been.
You need to see it. To see all these people. These are the biggest people in the country. As our attorney general, in case you get in trouble. Would you help out Elvis? Elvis maybe, I don't know, gets a little bit of a pass. Not much. We're not allowed to give much of a pass. But he was great. You're a big fan of Elvis, family.
My mother was, especially.
Elvis loved law enforcement. He actually donated a lot of money to law enforcement. He wanted a badge so badly that he threatened the Shelby County sheriff that if he didn't get a badge, he'd run against them to get the badge. So he has a collection of.
He would have been tough to beat.
Yes, we have a collection of over 200 badges in our collection.
Is Elvis beatable? What do you think? CNN would say no.
Have you been here before, Mr. President, or is this your first time?
I've never been here. No, I'm a big fan of Elvis. Who isn't, right? But I think he's great. I think his music is incredible. I understood his life. His life was, complicated, right? It was complicated, but he was terrific. Sure, and he was born with a voice that he never lost, right?
Yes, exactly.
He had other difficulties, but he never lost the voice. Yeah.
And Graceland really is the fulfillment of a childhood promise one day that Elvis made to his parents to buy them a big house so that he could take care of them. And that's what Graceland represents.
Well, he loved his mom.
Yes.
So much. I think your father, but he really loved his mom. And
yes,
I think when his mom went, it was very hard for him, right?
Very, very hard.
Yeah.
And really, Graceland is probably the most positive thing that when foreigners come from all over the world, tens of millions of foreigners come to Graceland, it's what they really represent, the best of America, because Elvis really represented the best of America.
Well, you're getting a lot of publicity today with all of these. You have all the fake news media here. Look at this. I mean, you ever see so much? Do you get treated? Tell me. Does Elvis get treated better than me? Because with me, it's fake news. With Elvis, it was a little fake news too. I
think in the UK we're about the same as you.
No, really?
So you have some from both. You know, it's people want to. You know, he was so revolutionary and so important that I think that brilliance people are afraid of. Yeah. And I think people who are afraid of brilliance have to lash out.
Wow, it was special.
Yeah.
Please.
We have a few more things over here I wanted to show you. So if you'll just come this way.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is a portrait of Elvis that was done when he was in basic training in Fort Hood, Texas. And it shows you Elvis's natural hair color of blonde. He was
Really?
blonde hair, blue eyes. He dyed his hair black because he thought it brought his facial features better out on film. And so he started doing that after his first movie, Love Me Tender. This is actually the oldest guitar in our collection. It's a 1956 Gibson J200. Elvis used it in the movies Loving You, Jailhouse Rock, and King Creole, and then used it in Vegas in 69 and 70. And then at the top of the stairs, we have the outfit that Elvis wears at the end of the 68 comeback special when he sang the song If I Can Dream, which was especially written for the show. After the assassination of Martin Luther King and Robert Kennedy, Elvis felt like he needed to make a statement of how America could be. And so that's what If I Can Dream represents. And he ended the show wearing that outfit right there.
So he loved this place, right?
He did.
Yeah.
And he loved his country. And yeah, everything you see in the house is original. All the furnishings, all the drapes, everything that you're seeing is original. The chandelier above the stairs was actually taken apart here in the hallway to be reassembled because it was too large to fit through any of the doors.
Oh.
Yeah. And then we're going to come this way. This would have been the master bedroom, the primary room in the house. You can come on in.
What do you guys think?
Always someone in here ready to make whatever Elvis wanted, or what any of his entourage wanted. It does have the latest and greatest in technology here, including this tap-in oven, which has a hidden 4 burners underneath this. This pulls out, as well as the microwave in the corner was the first microwave sold in Memphis.
Okay.
And behind you, there's a bread.
I almost didn't find
so
it.
Graceland was always full of technology at the time. This is actually Elvis's army helmet that I wanted to show you because like every other GI, Elvis had to put his initials in it. So you can see where he's put EP.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that everybody would know that this was his helmet. So it's written all inside here. And then this blue hat was worn by Elvis when he came home from the army. And it also was worn on his first television appearance, which happened to be on the Frank Sinatra special.
Oh.
So this is the invitation. Frank was hosting Elvis along with Sammy and Joey Bishop and Nancy. And what they did is they told Elvis when he missed the 2 years while he was in the army.
We're about halfway.
And Elvis is a huge music fan. So his music collection, which contains about 5,000 records, is mainly other artists. And one of the records I pulled for you to see today is Elvis's copy of Frank Sinatra's My Way.
Oh, good. Well,
Yeah.
That's a good one.
It is.
Frank was another one.
Yep.
It's a piece of work.
Yeah, Elvis and Frank were friends.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, at the end of the special, Elvis and Frank do a duet, and Frank sings Love Me Tender, and Elvis sings Witchcraft.
Oh.
So it was kind of fun.
Great.
Yeah, but there we have a security system here that Elvis had added to the property so he could actually see all the comings and goings around the house. And Lisa would say when the cameras would come on and the red light would come on, she'd go run and hide because she knew she was in trouble.
But he was just comfortable here.
Yeah, this was his home. This no matter where he lived,
he always came back here.
always came back to Memphis. And whenever he talked about Memphis, it was always home. And that's what this represents.
No, that's very nice.
Yep.
And now it's safe again.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's great.
Yep. So our next up, and this is a staircase that Elvis would come down to the kitchen. Yeah, so when he would come downstairs, he really wouldn't come down the main stairs. That's really formal for him. He would normally come down these stairs here into the kitchen.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
He was something.
Mm-hmm.
He was something. Nobody liked him.
So now we're going to the basement. Watch your step, please.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. There's lots of mirrors. It's a mirrored line
Okay.
staircase. And this was a patio
So
area.
expanded it.
Yes. So this room was added to the house in 1964. And it's really, Elvis just called it his den. But when the press first saw it, they nicknamed it the Jungle Room for obvious reasons. The furniture is all hand-carved white pine wood, and it was made by a company called Whitco. And Elvis loved Hawaii, and his dad had said that he had seen the most awful furniture he'd ever seen. And so Elvis goes shopping that night and buys the entire set. And this is what it was. But Elvis liked it because it did remind him of Hawaii.
That's good. Yeah, he did well with Hawaii.
And if you look up, you'll notice there's carpet on the ceiling, a 70s decorating trend that made this room acoustically sound.
Yeah, before his time.
And Elvis
He was
actually,
way before his time. Look,
he really was.
Carpet on the ceiling.
And Elvis actually used this room for recording. He recorded 2 albums from Elvis Presley Boulevard, Memphis, Tennessee, and 6 songs from his last album in this room. And he would normally stand over there on that platform. That was kind of his stage. And then the band and all the singers and everybody would be here in the room while they were recording.
That's good.
Yeah, one of the songs he recorded here is a song called Hurt, and another one was Unchained Melody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
So, and that's a stereo system, and Elvis's karate nickname was Tiger.
Well,
And
and
so-
you can see she loves Elvis. Well, she couldn't do what she does well, right?
She's the best
She's
at what she
doing,
does.
she's doing great.
Yeah.
How long have you worked with?
36 years.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
We have people come from high school. We actually had some of your people who actually wanted to give us applications. They wanted to come to Graceland so
Yes.
much.
Mhm.
It's an amazing place to be.
36 years.
Uh-huh.
And he's been here a long time. I'll tell you.
Yep.
He's been, right?
I've been, I've been developing it. When I got here,
From a young man.
Yes.
From
Yeah.
when he was a young man.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Do
So
we all love Elvis? Media loves Elvis. It's a little different for you guys, right? You know, we're very political.
not here.
And,
This is
not
all
here,
fun.
but not
And
here. because
Elvis
everyone
was not
loves Elvis.
political.
Yeah,
Well,
everyone loves
I think he
Elvis.
was political, but he kept it.
He kept it to himself. Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He believed, he felt very strongly in the office. He respected the office.
Of the
he
president.
respected law
Yeah,
enforcement.
he did.
Mhm.
And that should be something that should be universal.
Yes, no matter who. Mm-hmm.
Any questions about Elvis, Media? You like to
What's
have?
your favorite song, sir, of Elvis's?
But she just mentioned one of them, "Hurt." Hurt's great, right?
It is.
Isn't
It is very
He's-
good.
He's got so many. There's very few I don't like. Actually.
Well, and
But he's got,
How great thou art.
yeah. Every one of them is. He made nothing. He did nothing bad.
No.
Elvis loved his gospel above all. Gospel was his favorite music.
What was his biggest selling song? What was his most successful song?
It's
With
Now
all-
or Never.
Oh, really?
That one sold the most, yes.
Oh, that's good.
Mhm.
I wouldn't say the best, but that's good.
Yeah, that's good. Mhm.
Yeah, that's good. They're all good.
I also have a few pieces here. So this, this is Elvis's Social Security card that we found in his wallet. So the gold medal Social Security cards were not officially issued by the government, but they were a novelty item that you could actually buy then, because the paper ones that people would carry around with them would get messed up. And so this was Elvis's.
Good idea. Maybe we should do that again.
And then
Not a bad
Like a gold visa.
yeah, and then this is his bedside phone. It actually is gold plated.
I would like to hear some of those conversations. Right?
Well, as you can see, it's
They
very,
would like to hear that.
yeah, it's very well worn.
Oh yeah.
And it's been through the ringer. It has its little dings on it. But then this is actually the belt that Elvis got for shattering all the city's attendance records in Las Vegas. The belt buckle is sterling silver with diamonds, rubies, and sapphires in it. And he most notably wore this not only on and off stage, but he wore it in the Oval Office when he met President Nixon.
Oh, that's a very famous visit. Actually.
Yes. Yep. And this guitar that you see here, this is actually a replica of a guitar that Elvis used in his 1973 Aloha from Hawaii concert. And I was wanting to know if you would sign it for us
Oh,
to keep for the
sure.
archives.
Wow.
So
That's
you can sit here if
that's
you
a
like.
big honor.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, this will be for the archives.
Sure.
There you go.
Wow.
There's a marker.
Okay.
Outsmart the market with Base 44 super agents. Set up in seconds and ready to go.
Where do you want me to sign that here?
You can sign it right here if you like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great honor. Hold it. Has anyone tested this pen yet?
I think you're the first.
Should we just
Right
give
there?
me a piece of paper
Yeah,
just to
I'm
make
glad
sure
I found it.
at what level the ink is, right?
Yes.
It's a lot easier to do that way than ruin the guitar.
Exactly.
Okay, not bad. Okay, ready, everybody? Let's see here. Oh, that came out good. Look at that.
Yeah, that looks nice.
Wow. You never know. These are hard to sign. But that came out pretty good.
Is that the first guitar you signed?
Just about. Now, Biden couldn't do that. He'd have to send it out to be signed. Look at that. That came out nice. And what a beautiful guitar. Is this so? Did he play this guitar?
No, this is a replica one, but this is a replica of the one that he did play.
Yeah.
And the one that had the karate patch on it. Elvis had 2 8th degree black belts in karate. One was in Kenpo, and that's what this
Was
patch
he
is
really
for.
good, or was it just?
Actually, he was really good. He
Okay.
started
Could
practicing.
I have taken him in a fight?
I don't know. You might.
I think he would have been respectful enough to let you in.
Yes, he probably would.
But he and Bruce Lee really brought
Really?
karate. Yeah, he would have been. But he and Bruce Lee really brought karate to the West.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's good.
Yeah.
It's very good. Well, Bruce Lee was pretty good, right?
Mm-hmm.
You having a good time, media? Everybody? It's interesting. It's a little bit different, yeah.
People make pilgrimages here from all around the world.
Yeah.
Would you imagine someday in the very distant future, people making a similar pilgrimage to Mar-a-Lago?
Well, I don't know. It's something I could never say. You know, wouldn't it be terrible if it was, oh, yes, so yes. Headlines, Trump,
You
no,
are
whatever.
blue
You know,
today.
whatever. That's a special place, too. As you said, you know, in terms of people going to places, these are big, successful places. But this is, all I know is, you know, I know that all my life I've heard about Graceland. I've watched Elvis. Surprisingly, you know, because I was around with Elvis sort of in his semi-prime at least, right? And
Yeah.
for some reason I didn't know him, but I knew just about everybody else. Knew all of them. But I don't know why with Elvis. He was a little bit locked into Las Vegas, right?
Yeah, he was in Vegas a lot.
You know, but he was a very special guy. Everybody said what a good person. Yeah, he was just a good person with a complicated life.
The most famous person on the planet. It's difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the most famous person on the planet. Let's see. Who else would be more famous than Elvis? Nobody that I can think of. See?
Yeah.
Anyway, but this is fun.
Yeah.
And I want to thank you all. This is great. We appreciate it. And hopefully you're going to get a lot of
Not sure if you saw the news, but Fox News is claiming President Trump is declining in the polls. President Trump.
Okay. Wasn't expecting that kind of video. Okay, let's do. Nick Shirley came out with one. 12 minutes, Carol. Since there's no Billy Bean tonight.
He's making it very obvious that he's going to be making a run for presidency in 2028. And he just started up his own podcast. I believe that's going to be one of his main strategies to show people who he is for his upcoming run in 2028. Now let's go talk to some people here and see if they'll vote for Gavin Newsom in 2028. How you doing, ma'am? Having a good day? Would you vote for Gavin Newsom if you were to run for president? No. How have you seen the downfall of California these past 4 years or so?
It went down a lot, especially houses, everything went down.
Yeah, I mean, we're here right now. We got somebody passed out here on the ground, and you got other people, another person passed out on the ground right there as well. Is that just a normal thing to see downtown LA?
Back then, no. Right now, it's everywhere.
Thank you for what you do. Would you vote for Gavin Newsom as president?
Probably not. I don't think so.
I'm sorry, I'm not good for English.
Gavin Newsom, good or bad? I think good. Would you vote for Gavin Newsom in 2028 if he does make a run for it?
I would.
Really, and why so?
Gavin's done a lot of work, I think, with the state to make it a better state. I'm also very, very new to California.
What's some of your favorite things you've seen from him?
I've seen his efforts, which is of something that's pretty close to me, which is homelessness. So I've seen the efforts. I've been tracking that more specifically. I own a nonprofit. And so I think with the initiatives that's in place for that has been really, it works for me.
What kind of things is, because I mean, there's a major homeless problem here in California, and has around 30% of the entire United States population, or homeless population here inside the state of California. What's California currently doing to combat the homeless crisis here?
There's a lot of organizations that are spending millions and millions of dollars, and a lot of the data points that I'm familiar with that I can see, even from the city of LA and the county of LA, rather, I can see some of those numbers. And so what I've seen is a lot of money is spent in actually funding a lot of programs to combat that. So I'm seeing a lot of halfway houses being set up. I'm seeing a lot of treatment centers coming up and are being funded for staffing and so on. The challenge is that the other side of it is that I do see that we're lacking a lot of staffing. So I like what I've seen him do here in California so far, but I'm not saying that's my vote for president just yet.
Gavin Newsom, good or bad? Probably bad. They say probably bad.
I don't speak English.
Gavin Newsom, bien, mal.
I can't afford therapy. You can afford that matcha smoothie. Therapy is for rich people. No, it's like $15 a session.
Girl, you gotta get therapy.
With Rula, getting help is easier than talking yourself out of it.
I know.
Gracias. How long have you been living here for?
For 38 years.
38 years. And do you think the governor, Gavin Newsom, is doing a good job with the state of California?
I think so, yes.
You think so, yes?
Yes.
Will you vote for him in 2028?
Yes.
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 And why would you want to vote for Gavin Newsom?
Because I like it. I like it. How it works.
Okay.
Yeah.
She loves how it works here. Thank you very much, ma'am. Have a good one. Your ex governor, Gavin Newsom. He's making it pretty obvious he's going to make a run for it in 2028.
Okay.
Will you vote for him?
Probably not. Yeah.
Why not?
Just because how he's been handling stuff already. Like,
They've done a good job trying to get rid of
I know they've made
problem.
a couple buildings and they got a couple people off the streets, but I don't think that all that money's going towards that.
And do you find it strange that Gavin Newsom is able to buy a $8 million home in California, in San Francisco Bay Area, with a salary of a governor?
Wow, that's great. I didn't know that.
$9 million.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Would you guys vote for Gavin Newsom in 2028?
I vote for him because he got me released from coming home from a life sentence.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Yep.
he didn't hold me back. He didn't hold me back. He signed off saying I'm fit for society. So yes, I would vote for Gavin Newsom.
I would probably vote for Gavin Newsom too if I were you then. And what'd he do for you then? Or like, what were you locked up for? If you don't mind me asking.
I was locked up for murder, carjacking, and robbery.
How would you say the state of California is being ran right now? And would you vote for Gavin Newsom if he were to run for president in 2028?
No, I'm trying to get out of California.
How long you been living down here in LA for?
Like 3 months.
3 months? What do you think about it?
It's fucking horrible. I mean, I don't know what y'all did. It's freaking horrible. It ain't like what you see on TV. It's a lot of property out here. It's a lot of crazies out here. It's already overpopulated. So if you think about moving here, just stay where you at. Yeah.
And what brought you to move down here in LA?
The propaganda, what I saw on TV and the movies and all that, and how I thought it was what it wasn't. I thought it was like Beverly Hills, everywhere not Beverly Hills.
Would you ever vote for Gavin Newsom to become president?
I wouldn't vote for Trump, but Gavin Newsom, no, because what I heard, he lost LA he lost California a whole lot of money. We ain't talking about no hundreds of thousands, we're not talking about no hundreds of millions. We're talking about billions. We talking about fucking billions. Like, how do you inherit a state that's doing well up in the billions, and now they're doing well up under the billions? Hell no, that's like having Trump as a president. No, I wouldn't vote for him as president.
How much quicker were you able to get out of jail underneath Gavin Newsom?
Immediately I filed my petition and I was out
3 months later.
Really? And how long were you set to be in jail for?
I was already in 12 years.
And how much longer were you supposed to be?
I had about another 2 years left.
And then you got out 2 years earlier underneath Gavin?
Absolutely, under new laws. Yep.
How many shoplifting occurrences do you think happen here on a daily?
Man, it's a
More
lot.
than 100?
More than 1,000, man.
And are police officers, like, what can the police officers really do if they do see somebody doing crack or cocaine on the streets?
They can't really do nothing because it's like, I mean, they could take them.
These people just shoplifted right there.
Yeah.
Look at, they got all the lighters and everything.
Yeah, bro. I'm pretty sure they probably just stole that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, the police really can't do nothing. Like, because if they catch somebody doing drugs, if they got some drugs, they could probably do something to them. But you know, if they don't catch them with a lot of drugs, they can't do nothing. So if it's just something enough for them to smoke, you know, they basically cool, bro. So, and it's crazy, bro. The police actually, they got some type of little company, bro. They come down here and give them like stuff to smoke, like pipes, all type of shit, bro. It's crazy.
Yeah, the police, the government will literally fund other organizations, nonprofits, to give them enough money so they can buy syringes, the pipes, the foil, and the like elastic band, so they can continue to do drugs. But then on top of that, they'll give them that bag, right, of the needles and everything, and they're like, okay, and then just in case you overdose, we'll give you a Narcan so you can bring yourself back to life. So it's like very counterintuitive. Like, okay, here's everything, and then for you to kill yourself, but then here's this to revive you once you're about to die. And would you ever vote for Gavin Newsom as president?
No, I don't like him. I don't like that guy.
A lot of people call him Newscum.
Oh man, that guy right there, bad news right there.
Nick Shirley. How long you guys been living in LA for? Whole life. It's Nick Shirley on YouTube. And would you vote for Gavin Newsom to become the president?
Fuck no.
Why not?
Look at this shit.
Yeah. Hey, I'm not for him either. We're on the same team here. But Gavin Newsom, he's making it pretty obvious that he's going to make a run for it in 2028.
Good luck.
Why would you not vote for Gavin Newsom?
No comment.
No comment. How have you seen the state churn since he's been in?
It's real bad.
Would you vote for Gavin Newsom as president? For president?
Trump.
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 Yeah. You like Trump?
Yeah, fuck with Trump.
Right now we're doing a live stream. We're talking to people because Gavin Newsom's making it pretty obvious that he's going to make a run for it in 2028.
Would you serious?
Would you vote for him?
No, I have a very strong opinion about him, to be honest.
Let's hear it.
Well, I mean, speaking about the waste on the ground, there was lots of money that was designated that he was supposed to use to help clean up the streets, help, clean up the encampments. I'm sure you've come across lots of tents and lots of homeless people, and that made...
Welcome to the Wanderers Outpost, where there are many wanderers from different planets, each with their own role.
make the city even more dirty. And, we designated lots of money, and he was supposed to, where did that go?
Yeah, nobody really knows.
Where did that go? I don't know. So,
30, whether it's 20 billion or 30 billion.
Yeah, I heard
that's a lot of billions.
But yeah, who knows? That's and that was years ago. So, and then I heard he was running, and I'm like, what? Okay, well, I guess we'll just not talk about the missing money that was probably embezzled.
Yeah, and did you see that recently? He had Charlie Kirk on his podcast, and he started a podcast, which was kind of strange. Like, he's governor, shouldn't he be worrying about his own state rather than running a podcast?
I guess he's an influencer now.
Yeah, now he's an influencer. When I become governor, I'll probably have my own podcast, so I'm gonna eat my words right there. But
absolutely.
Would you vote for me as governor of Utah?
Governor of Utah?
Yeah, if you came to Utah, you could come vote for me. Would you vote for me in 8 years?
Yeah, I would vote for you.
I think I'd do a pretty good job.
Yeah.
And so Gavin Newsom, he starts his podcast. He should be running the state, but he's pretty worried about getting this podcast up and going for these next 4 years. How do you think people could justify voting for Gavin Newsom as president when he has literally caused the 5th largest economy in the world to have an exodus of at least 500,000 people leaving his state? And major companies like Oracle and Tesla have left as well. Why do you think anyone would think, okay, it'd be a good idea to vote for Gavin Newsom? Where does the love come? Where do people love Gavin Newsom? Yeah.
I feel like the only times I've seen him being a charitable person would be when he schedules those those encampment cleanups, and the TV reporters would be there recording him clean up, and it's like, oh, he's such a generous person for the TV, so we can all see that, so it's kind of just like maybe people who see that and are like, oh, he's such a kind person, and don't think, oh, he's just acting this way because elections are coming up and he wants to look good for the people. And I'm sure there's tons of people who see that and are like, oh, he's so genuine, he cares, and he's out there with his hands getting dirty and cleaning up. And I'm sure there's a handful of people who live here and are like, oh, thank you so much, you're a hero. So yeah, I'm sure people believe that.
Yeah, would you vote for Gavin Newsom if you were to run for president in 2028?
I would.
You would, and why so?
Because I mean, he's been having things run smooth so far, so it's like you don't change a good thing.
How do you feel about your guys' governor, Gavin Newsom?
I like him. He's a talented politician, I think.
Yeah, I guess he is a pretty talented politician. He's been around for quite some time.
Yeah, he's bright. He's good on his feet. He speaks well. I like him.
Think he's trustworthy?
Yeah.
We're going to end the live stream right here. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Okay, out of California again. Okay, we got something going on at the airports now with ICE.
Help you find the perfect fit from the biggest brands. Add flexible financing and free same-day delivery, and getting better sleep for less has never been easier.
Who cares about bikers? We do. Many of our lawyers.
Federal immigration officials detained a woman in front of her young daughter in the middle of the SFO terminal.
Okay, get ready for this. So, as many of you are aware, ICE agents are currently on a massive operation to be embedded with TSA agents around the United States at different airports.
Can I see your badge number, sir? What is your name?
So this video is starting to circulate and go very viral as far as ICE agents already making an arrest inside of an airport. However, when you look at the date, 3/22/10 p.m., according to Homeland Security, this arrest occurred before ICE officers were even deployed to airports to bolster TSA efforts. So we're going to dig into this story and see what it's all about. Because if you were on the internet this morning or on the internet now, this is going very viral because a lot of people were pushing back against ICE agents, especially politicians, because they were worried things like this would happen, where people could get arrested while just standing in lines. However, ICE does clarify what this was all about, but let's first dig into the video. Okay, so here's the video that was going mega viral this morning.
Show the badge. Where's the badge?
Where's your badge?
Can someone call 911? Where's your badge? Can I see? Let me see your badge. Okay. Can I see your badge? I don't know if that's legitimate. Can I see your badge number, sir? What is your name? What is your name? Where's your badge number? I'm asking for your badge number, sir. What is your badge number? What is your badge number? We need to see your badge number. Show your badge number. This is an illegal arrest. Show the badge number.
It's okay. We'll wait.
I need to see your badge number.
Step back.
I don't know who you are. You could be someone kidnapping me.
Okay, so let me know how you feel about all of that. And also make sure to please like this video. It helps out a ton. And if you're new here, make sure to please subscribe to my channel because we dig into stuff like this all the time. Now, the timing of all of this is rather interesting because keep in mind, this was 3:22 at 10 p.m. We are just rolling into 3:23, which would be today, which is the start of the big operation where ICE agents are deployed to all of these different airports. And DHS actually responded to Fox News as far as what was happening here. Now, initially speaking, many people were already saying, this is ICE, we know it's ICE, but nobody knew what the details were. Now we do. This arrest occurred before ICE officers were even deployed to airports to bolster TSA efforts to help American travelers who are facing hours-long lines across the country. On March 22nd, 2026, ICE officers arrested Angelita Lopez Jimenez and Wendy Lopez at the San Francisco International Airport. The family has an outstanding final removal order of removal from an immigration judge since 2019. While being escorted to the international terminal for processing, Lopez attempted to flee and resisted law enforcement officers. ICE is working as quickly as possible to repatriate the family unit to their home country of Guatemala.
News of that detainment came just a day before the president said he would send ICE agents to national airports to ease long TSA lines. The Bay Area, as of right now, is not included in those airports, so this incident appears to be unrelated.
Okay, so that's another key detail. This airport is not even listed under the current 12 to 14 airports in which ICE agents are currently deployed around the United States. So that's another detail to add to the story. No connection at all to this initial federal surge of ICE agents backing up TSA agents.
ABC 7 Eyewitness News reporter Zach Fuentes joins us live now from SFO. Zach, what can you tell us?
Yeah, like you said, that video is circulating all over social media. It's now gotten a response from officials here at SFO and also San Francisco Mayor Daniel Lurie. State Senator Scott Wiener is going to be holding a press conference in response to it within an hour. Now, the video shows what appears to be officers.
And I am very curious how he is going to respond to the new statements from Homeland Security as far as her already having an initial order of removal. I'm very curious what the response is going to be.
Arresting a woman. Now, SFPD said it was not involved, but confirmed that this did happen yesterday at around 10 p.m. Now, a crowd of people surrounded the woman being arrested. They asked officers to show their badge numbers, and the officers did not respond to those requests. The woman is seen later being taken through the airport by officers in a wheelchair. In a statement, a spokesperson for SFO said that federal officers were transporting two people on an outbound flight when that incident on video happened. And SFO says it believes that it was an isolated incident and that it has no reason to suspect that broader enforcement is happening at SFO.
Okay, so that's another very interesting detail. It turns out they were trying to transport her to her flight to get to where she needed to be. And according to Homeland Security, that would have been Guatemala. Here's another angle of the arrest.
Leave her alone! What are you doing? Leave her alone! What the hell are you doing?
I hope you're so proud. I also want to point out, it looks like there are police officers here in the background. I think that's a detail many people are missing as far as it appears as if there are some sort of security elements in the background. And right here.
Proud of yourselves, you assholes. You're on video now, too. Yeah. Shame on you. You un-American piece of shit. You.
Okay, so again, just trying to show you another angle. This was very contentious, and there were a lot of people around these agents.
Statement went on to say, quote, "The airport's role is to ensure the safe and efficient operation of the facility for all passengers and staff. We were not involved in or notified in advance of this incident. Airport operations continued without disruption, and there were no impacts to flights or passenger processing," end quote. So again, all of this is coming after ICE agents have been sent to 14 airports across the country to assist with TSA operations. Now, no Bay Area airports are on that list. And remember, SFO contracts its security with a private firm, so it's not been impacted by the TSA worker funding fight. Now, just moments ago, we did hear from San Francisco Mayor Daniel Lurie. He put out a statement saying that he was upset by the incident. He said he has spoken with SFO and SFPD leaders and believes that this was an isolated incident. So that's echoing what SFO officials told us. And he said, quote, "Under our city's longstanding policies, local law enforcement does not participate in federal civil immigration enforcement. Those policies keep us safe and will not change as long as I am mayor."
Okay, so as many of you are aware, California as a whole is a sanctuary state. And of course, this jurisdiction is a sanctuary status as well. So as far as any involvement or facilitation or helping out, police officers to ICE agents, that probably wasn't going to happen to begin with. But one thing I do want to point out is this is not uncommon for ICE agents to be at airports to begin with. Nonetheless, the timing of all of this all happened before ICE agents were deployed to these other airports to facilitate and help out TSA agents with moving lines. This is a totally isolated situation, but still, it goes to show how fast the media can move just off of one video and people identifying those are ICE agents. We had no idea what that operation even was up until now when I'm filming this, and the mayor, it seems like, is just finding this out now as he does his press conference or tries to let people know what's happening.
I'm almost at the Newark airport right now, and I've got one simple message. Get ICE out of my airports and fund TSA. We have tried over and over again to stop you from holding hostage to TSA and causing all this pain to the American people. And you won't do it, Donald Trump. You won't do it because you want to use our TSA agents and the American people. You want to use them as political pawns to create leverage for you to fund a reckless and out of control agency. So I say very simply again, fund TSA and get ICE out of our airports.
Ironically, I think Republicans and the Trump administration would actually agree with Cory Booker to...
Can we deduct our kids' braces?
I
do
not. His airport.
I was asking an H&R Block tax pro. His actual live human.
Fund the TSA and to get ICE out of the airports as far as this really big operation. However, of course, the finger pointing would go the other way, and Republicans would probably be requesting that Democrats, they would move forward with working with Republicans to pass everything to reopen the government.
And so what's happening today in America that should outrage everybody? He's taking this very same agency that has been bursting into our schools, into our churches, into our hospitals, into our courts, and even into the homes of Americans. He's taking that agency that is reckless and out of control and bringing them to our airports under the lie that somehow this is going to help deal with the long lines that he created in the first place.
Okay, so right off the bat, who are you going to shift the blame to? Are you going to point at Republicans or Democrats? But also the accusation of bursting into churches or bursting into very sensitive locations, that is a very aggressive statement, and we do not have specific details in which he is citing.
This is an outrage. We should not have an agency that America doesn't trust, an agency that literally has seen violence against Americans, an agency that is tearing away American families, tearing apart American families, and arresting and detaining Americans and violating due process rights and civil rights.
Okay, so yeah, let me know how you feel about this. I did notice there was no mention of the mask. That is because, if I had to assume, the President of the United States, Donald Trump, has made it very clear he doesn't want ICE agents to have masks in this operation while dealing with the American public. That's just a little detail I do want to point out.
Philadelphia hasn't been particularly friendly to the folks from ICE, but, you know, other people say, hey, you got to do something about these lines. Take a look at these lines. These guys, I think you were on a March Madness trip, yeah?
Yes, sir. Heading back to Nashville today.
What about these ICE guys? Are they going to help out, do you think?
I hope so. This line's getting really long right now.
I hear that.
Yes,
Okay, so I actually have been covering a lot of Pennsylvania on this channel. I have a very recent video where I do cover a police chief is having to investigate one of his officers to see whether or not he did a stand down order to support ICE during an operation. But what I do want to point out is, even though Philadelphia might not be too friendly to ICE or DHS, it doesn't mean that voters in small pockets of Pennsylvania or in other areas of Pennsylvania are not supportive. So one thing I do point out on this channel is that, as many of you are aware, sometimes the loudest voices or noises, that's the one that really stands out as far as the anti-ICE rhetoric. But every once in a while on Fox News or during these interviews, we do have people who don't seem to mind ICE at all. In fact, even Chief Bovino, when he was down in Louisiana during Operation Catahoula Crunch, he was saying the hardest part about his operation was actually signing autographs and taking pictures and saying hello to the American people.
Well, enjoy that trip back to Nashville.
Thank you, sir.
You think the lines are bad here? Look at this, Mr. Varney, over the weekend. Places like New Orleans and Atlanta. Yeah, 2-hour delays in some of these locations. Where has it been the worst? Well, we've got a map, I think, that shows you the maximum pain. It's, of course, the TSA agents that are calling in sick, calling out sick. Which is it, by the way? Calling in sick or calling out sick? At any rate, in places like Houston, Hobby Airport, almost half of the TSA agents there have called in sick over the weekend. Bush, 42.
And I do think they're up to, what, 3 paychecks right now? Almost 4 paychecks of not being paid. I mean, what do you guys think? Can you blame them as far as what are they supposed to do at this point?
JFK, it was a third of the workforce. Here in Philadelphia, about 20%. And TSA says it's real simple. Many TSA officers, they say, cannot pay their rent, buy food, or afford gas in their cars. And that has forced them to call out sick from work. A pushback in some places like New Jersey. The governor there, Mikey Sherrill, put this statement out when she heard that the ICE folks were coming. Every time Donald Trump gets involved, he creates chaos for the American people. Trump's ICE has a track record of making communities less safe.
And by the way, we are covering New Jersey very closely on my channel. In my opinion, if there's an area of the country where we might see a surge or an increase of federal activity due to the amount of pushback, I actually think it would be New Jersey. Many people don't realize what's happening in New Jersey right now, especially with this governor, as far as different anti-ICE laws, pushing back against ICE and creating more of a separation and division with cooperation within these deportation areas.
Sending untrained ICE agents to staff our airports is not an acceptable solution. Well, I would submit also, Mr. Varney, that not paying the folks from TSA is also not an acceptable solution. And hence, perhaps you see this line stretching all the way. I don't know, Martine, can you see all those guys back there? Lots of folks in line.
Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope I was as fair as possible in reporting the story.
Okay, that was pretty good. He does a good job. He has a big channel. I got a 5-minute one, a 10-minute one with DJ. I think it's a new one. And then a 12-minute Nick video. I don't know if there's music on this one or not. 5 minutes. Yeah. Can't play that one. Let's play this 5-minute one from last night.
Supposed to is that we're talking and we're reasonably close. Dreamweaver. If you believe that, you'll never own your own home. We're not even on a scale of 1 to 10. We're minus 17. Here's why. There is no bill, no compromise involving ICE that the Democrats will vote for. Why? Because the Karen wing of the Democratic Party is in control. And the Karen wing of the Democratic Party will punish any Democrat that votes in any way to help ICE. That's just a fact. And we need to stop looking reality in the eye and denying it. Here's what we ought to do. And I've talked to most of my colleagues about it, including Senator Thune. I don't speak for them. I would accept the Democrats' offer to open up everything except ICE at DHS. And then the very next day, I would pass a reconciliation bill which crafts a budget for ICE. We can do it without any Democratic votes. Certainly the Democrats are welcome to join us. We can do it with all Republican votes. That's how we passed the one big beautiful bill. We don't need Democrats to do anything with respect to ICE. They think we ought to abolish ICE, just like they wanted to abolish police, just like they think that kids ought to be able to change genders at recess. Not all Democrats are that way, Trey, as you know. But the Karen wing, the loon wing of the Democratic Party is calling these shots. And that'll get the TSA folks paid. What we're doing right now is a Great Dane-sized whiz down the leg of every employee at TSA and everybody else at DHS who shouldn't be paid. And we're giving a bunch of pretty speeches on the floor when the truth is, and everybody knows it, the Democrats are not going to vote for anything that has to do with ICE because their party tells them they have to abolish. And that's where we are. We can be open in 7 days.
That's why I love having you on, Senator, because you speak the truth and you do it in a pretty blunt way. Speaking of DHS and blunt colleagues of yours, I've known Mark Wayne Mullen for over a decade. He is blunt. He's honest. He's one of the most loyal friends you can ever have. I would have preferred to see Mark Wayne and Rand Paul work out their differences in private and not public, but maybe I'm wrong about that.
Well, look, I'll say this for their exchange. It was authentic. I mean, they don't like each other. That's the way the world works sometimes. Mark Wayne's going to be confirmed. We've got huge management problems over at DHS. I don't want to plow old ground, but we've got huge management problems. And it wasn't just about the fact that the former secretary spent $250 million making political commercials with her on a horse in front of Mount Rushmore. We've got deeper problems at that, though that was a big problem. I don't mean to speak ill of anybody. I like Secretary Nolan, but the truth is, and everybody knows it, we need some fresh blood there. Mark Wayne will provide it. He's experienced. He's a good businessman. He understands the legislative process. I can't wait to get him confirmed, and he'll be confirmed this week.
You know, Senator, speaking of confirmation, one of my dear friends is in front of you on Wednesday, and she is as nervous as Lindsey Graham in a spelling bee because, number one, she respects you, and number two, you are a tough questioner. So she's been studying like it's a bar exam, and she should. Your questioning is part of what prompted President Trump to say enough at DHS. So I love having you on. I love watching you. People say they don't like lawyers, but they like John Kennedy. Thank you for joining us on a Sunday night.
Trey, Congress went to hell as soon as you left, man. We need you back.
God bless you, Senator. We'll see you soon.
Okay, that was a good interview. Okay, we got 10 minutes. Doug or Derek, let me know on this one. I think it's a new one.
Three national emergencies that must be addressed by Congress. That is a law. That's a federal law. They did not address those. Therefore, he had to do what? He had to activate the military. All 50 states at one time, never been done before in United States history. He activated all 50 states at one time. That's what you saw, 35,000 plus National Guard members go to the District of Columbia, which in military law and also in U.S. law is a foreign territory. It's not a city, not a state. That is U.S. law. That's federal law. That's military law. It's so simple, it's stupid. All right, so let's go on over here. We're going to look at some more. I'm going to flip this back around, and I'll get to the other. All right. This is how long these things are, okay? This is right here is Chapter 1209, Active Duty. Now look how long this is. Look, get sick. Get sick.
Yeah,
this is active duty alone on the United States Code. Look, get sick. And this is why it's sickening for stupid people who claim to be in the military They ain't reading. All right. All right, let's get over here. 10 U.S. Code 12301, reserve components. Generally. Now look at this. Look at all this. All right, let's come over here. Look at this. Understanding the guard status. Look here. Look at that. Title 10. Who controls that? Look at that. Title 10 is the president. Look, worldwide. Active component, reserve and National Guard. Recognize militia, which militia is state. State, militia. Title 10. Look, president, active component, reserve component, and National Guard. What's that say?
Arizona,
worldwide. Who does it?
Michigan plays.
What's that say right there? President.
Somebody.
Lord God help us. Oh, look
You're
at what we have down here. What did I just say a while ago? Stafford Act, which is 42 U.S. Code. Look, designed to bring natural disaster assistance for state and local, carrying out the responsibilities to aid citizens. Congress's intention was to encourage state and local localities to develop comprehensive disaster preparedness plans, prepare for a better intergovernmental coordination. All right, let's come over here. Now look, I'm gonna show you. This is what you got to look up. See this right here? Here's all the codes under Title 10 alone. Look, this is just 10 U.S. Code 406, 12406 alone, National Guard. Now look at all the sections. Look, this is what trolls don't read. Look at all these sections. Look at them. Look at this. I mean, look at all this. Now I've read all these. So that's why I'm going to different tabs here. All right, look at the general military law. Watch this right here. Y'all want to get sick again? Get ready. Look, this is general military law. Look, get sick. Look, get sick. Look how much further I got to go. Look at this. Look, get sick. Look at here. Mr. Military people, y'all know everything. Look at this. Get sick. Still going. Look, ladies and gentlemen. This is military law alone, right here. And look how far we are. Look at that. Look how far we got to go. Look, military law alone. Wow. Look at that. Look, come on, people. Where you at, trolls? Where you at, Mr. National Guard, know everything? Mr. I didn't serve more than 3 years. I can't know, my brain ain't comprehensible. Look, you can't even get, look, watch this. Look at this. Look. I mean, look at where we are. And I took it and I did this right here. Watch this right here. Watch, I'm going to do this. Now watch. Look at all this. This is military law alone. All right. Look at here, reserve components. This is the reserve components alone. Look at this. Let's just do a little bit. Look at the reserve components. Look at the reserves alone. Look at that. Look at that. Look at where we are. All right. Let's come over here. Enlisted members. Oh, my God. Look at this. That's a little shorter. Look. All right. Now let's come over here.
Okay.
10 U.S. Code. 12401. Army and Air National Guard of the United States status. Members of the Army National Guard of the United States and the Air National Guard of the United States are not in active federal service except when ordered thereto under law. People who don't read. Well, look at here. Army and Air National Guard of the United States. Commissioned officers, duty and National Guard Bureau. Look, who's that saying? The president may, with their consent, order commissioned officers of the Army National Guard of the United States and the Air National Guard of the United States to active duty. Y'all got to read, people.
Tired tonight.
You got to read. And this is how you trump trolls. All pun intended. Look right here. This is how you trump them. You go read. You go pull up. Now look at here. Here's 12405, National Guard and Federal Service status. Look at that. Right there in front of you. All right, let's come over here. Look at that. The president is unable with regular forces to execute the laws of the United States. The National Guard are calling in service. What did Congress do? Congress failed to do what? Their role. All right. The president may call in the federal service members and units of the National Guard of any state in such number.
So, Greg, the Final Four, one of my two favorite teams might face each other. Michigan and Arizona could reach the Final Four. I don't know which one I want to pick. I might have to go with Arizona.
As he considers necessary to repel invasion, suppress the rebellion, or execute those laws. What laws? The laws that Congress failed to uphold. 3 national emergencies that he declared, one in Executive Order 13848 and the other 2 verbally. What does it say again? He can call in to federal service members, units of the National Guard of any state in such numbers he considers necessary to execute those laws. Read it. Go freaking
What do you think about
read.
this one, you guys, on DJ tonight?
National Guard and the Federal Service. Period of service. Whenever the president calls the National Guard of a state into federal service, he may specify in the call the period of the service. So all this other stuff over here about this 270 days bullcrap.
I loved last night when Florida lost to Iowa at the buzzer.
That you read over here. What does it just say? Whenever the president calls the National Guard of a state into federal service, he may specify in the call the period of the service. Look at here. Members and units called shall serve inside or outside the territory of the United States during the term specified unless sooner relieved by the who? President. Unfreaking believable if people would just read the damn law. What are Title 10 military orders? Here's just the simplicity. Here's just a regular, simple Google search for you guys. All you got to do is this. Title 10 orders, National Guard. And what it shows you right here. Look at this. It allows the president to federalize the National Guard forces by ordering them to active duty in their reserve component status or by calling them into federal service in their militia status according with the following USC sections 1. How freaking difficult is it? Oh my God. And look at here. Look at this. Lieutenant General, look at that. 20 to 40,000 soldiers. Yeah, you're true. I love that comment there. Most trolls can't read, Lauren. You're 140% correct if there's ever a way to be that high percentage. It's just, it's really sad, really. It really is that, it's sad, it is, that we've reached this point in our nation where we have people arguing and calling people liars over law and order.
So that was I don't know when that date was, but I never saw that one. I don't recall that one. I can't remember. Okay, we got a 12-minute Nick.
And I'm not even being hyperbolic. I am being dead serious. They are freaking out after the sheriff in Riverside, California, just seized, as part of an ongoing investigation, more than 500,000 ballots from the California Prop 50 special election in 2025. After receiving a report from an election integrity activist group that showed a major discrepancy between the number of ballots cast and the number of votes that were counted, the sheriff saw sufficient evidence to go in there and take the ballots to conduct a thorough investigation into what happened in the Prop 50 special election in California. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is massive, and the implications here for the midterm election cycle are even more massive. We know there's been a bit of a war between the Republicans and Democrats to redraw their state's congressional maps to give more seats to their party. It started in Texas. They redrew their map to give 5 seats to the Republicans, and then California responded to give 5 seats to the Democrats with Prop 50. Well, it appears that Prop 50 itself may have been manipulated with a little election fraud. And so if that is uncovered and found by the Riverside Sheriff's Department, then the Democrats could potentially be losing 5 seats before the midterm election cycle, which would absolutely send the Democrats into a state of terror. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to break all this down, but I want to tell you guys about something important. We expose a lot of corruption on this channel, and we talk a lot about saving the country, but we have to make sure that we protect ourselves and our families from the very same corrupt systems. And did you guys know that right now the top 3 Medicare brokers are under investigation by the DOJ for kickbacks? Because the system is corrupt, and that's why I partnered with Chapter. Now, Chapter is not like a traditional broker. No. They're completely data-driven. They don't have an agenda. They're not trying to get you on a specific plan to get a kickback. Their job is specifically to make sure that you are on the right Medicare plan. And there's thousands of plans to choose from. And chances are, unless you've gotten all the information and all the facts, you could be on the wrong plan and paying too much for your health care. Historically, seniors who work with Chapter have saved $1,100 a year on average, some a lot more, some not at all, because it turns out you were on the right plan. But it's nice to get that peace of mind from somebody who actually cares and knows what they're talking about. So call Chapter today. Talk to one of their unbiased, independent Medicare advisors. I promise you they will not waste your time. It's completely free, no obligation, so you have absolutely nothing to lose. So call 586-250-2968. That's 586-250-2968. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about what's going down in Riverside, California. This came out of left field. This is like the bombshell of all bombshells because nobody knew this was going on. Nobody expected this. The Riverside County Sheriff and California gubernatorial candidate Chad Bianco has seized more than 650,000 ballots from last November's election as part of an investigation into potential discrepancies in the county's vote count. Now, we got a press conference here from Sheriff Bianco, the sheriff of Riverside, who lays out specifically what they're looking at here and why they've seized these ballots. And so we're going to play a couple minutes of that. And I want to talk about what could potentially happen as a result of this investigation, what led to it, and the response. Because, like I said, the Democrats are absolutely melting down, especially the Attorney General in California. He's losing it over this. So let's take a listen, and then we'll talk more about what's going down in Riverside.
That we are committed to ensuring our elections are secure, safe, and accurate. In October of 2022, investigators from the Riverside County Sheriff's Office began an investigation into possible election fraud. This investigation is ongoing. On February 9th, 2026, as a result of this investigation, the Riverside County Sheriff's Office served the Registrar of Voters with a warrant approved and signed by a judge for election materials related to the 2025 special election. This investigation is very simple. The Registrar of Voters maintained handwritten logs of the total number of ballots coming into the ROV. An audit of those logs received from the Riverside County Registrar of Voters allegedly shows 611,428 ballots were cast, but 657,322 votes were reported and certified to the Secretary of State.
Boom. So that is what prompted the seizure of these ballots, a major discrepancy of like 45,000 ballots. As the ballots were coming in, they're supposed to report how many ballots are coming in. And so I think he said 600.
Hey, Kim, you might want to go back and watch earlier. I had Trump was at Elvis's place in Graceland. It was really good.
11,000 ballots were to have been reported to have come into the county recorder or secretary of state's office. But then they reported 45,000 more votes than the amount of ballots that they said they received. So there's a discrepancy between the number of ballots that they're reporting that were coming in versus the number of votes that they actually counted in the election.
That is a difference of 45,896 votes. The response from the registrar of voters was that it did not rely on logs and that it is a machine count that reflects a much smaller deviation that he chalks up to acceptable human error.
Okay, so here's what the bad actors are saying. They are saying that the logs from the humans that are recording how many ballots are coming in, we don't rely on that. It's irrelevant. Basically, they were tired. They were feeling lazy that day, so they weren't accurately counting up the ballots. What we rely upon is the machines and the number that the machine spits out at the end of or the close of an election. So the voting machines, the Smartmatic machines, I believe, are used in Riverside. They, at the end of an election, spit out a closed poll tape, which is like a receipt paper, and it tells you how many ballots ran through that machine. And so they're actually saying that's what we rely on, not the number of ballots that the human said came in. We go off of what the machine said. And I mean, I think it's safe to say we know the machines can be manipulated to print out a closed poll tape that says a different number than the number of ballots that were actually ran through that machine.
I hope we can all agree there is no acceptable error, small or large, in our elections, let alone a 45,000 vote difference. Our investigation will determine the validity of that alleged discrepancy, and if found true, we will determine the cause. We will do that by physically counting the ballots. This is not a recount to determine how many votes were for or against Prop 50.
Okay, so they're actually just counting up the number of physical ballots. They're not actually tallying the votes to see if the election outcome was manipulated. They're trying to see, okay, we have a discrepancy here where the human said there was 45,000 ballots less than what the machine said. So we're going to count up all the pieces of paper and see how many there actually are.
Several weeks ago, I was contacted by a representative of Attorney General Bonta and asked to halt this investigation until after March 6th. No reason was provided, and there is no legal justification for the Attorney General to stop a lawful investigation.
I'll tell you why. The Attorney General, he wanted the investigation postponed until the deadline where he could be removed from the actual ballot. That was why he wanted to wait until after March 6th.
As a side, I also had intimate knowledge of the significance of that date. On February 26th and again on March 4th, my office received a letter from AG Bonta directing a halt to this investigation. Yesterday, a Riverside Superior Court judge issued an order to appoint a special master to resume counting the ballots. Under direction of the court and the court's jurisdiction over all evidence, this investigation will continue despite AG Bonta's attempts to stop it.
So the courts actually sided with the sheriff's office and allowed them to continue their investigation in spite of the Attorney General trying to impede and stop the investigation.
AG Bonta is part of the executive branch of this state. Under the separation of powers principle, AG Bonta does not have authority over the court or evidence, and I will carry out my constitutional duty to pursue justice impartially. A recent study by UC San Diego revealed that 40% of Californians do not trust our election process or our counting mechanism. This is alarming. The purpose of any investigation is to determine the merits of allegations. It is basically a fact-finding mission. This investigation is simple. Physically count the ballots and compare that result with the total votes reported.
Now, obviously, this sheriff is a badass, and the Attorney General is completely corrupt. Just think about this for a second. There is a discrepancy of 45,000 ballots, and rather than investigate, the Attorney General is trying to stop the sheriff from investigating that discrepancy, calling it a fact-finding mission, trying to attach this to Trump and saying that this is just yet another, fishing expedition. And at the same time, you have 40% of people in California do not trust the election result. So the very notion that investigating an election would sow distrust in the outcome is itself obviously ass backwards. But this sheriff has the Democrats in a total state of panic because this directly threatens the Prop 50 ballot proposal, which adds 5 seats to the Democrats for the midterm election cycle. Now, the sheriff announced that they are predicting it will take them roughly 5 days to count up all the ballots. And mind you, they're going to come down on this investigation no matter what the result is reported by the sheriff's office. They're going to say that it was manipulated. They're going to come after it and say that it's not legitimate. But there is one interesting thing about this, and that is the fact that because the attorney general tried to stop this investigation and the courts had to get involved, they appointed a special master, they're part of the courts. Somebody from the courts was appointed to oversee the counting of these ballots, which adds a layer of legitimacy to this investigation. So it's not just the county sheriff's office now, it is also a special master appointed by the judicial system overseeing this investigation. So whatever the result is, it's going to be hard for them to contend with it. Now, the sheriff is saying it's going to take them roughly 5 days to count them all up. And if there is a discrepancy of 45,000, or if there is a big discrepancy here, at that point, then the sheriff expands its investigation to figure out the source of the discrepancy. And I would guarantee you that at that point, we're probably going to be looking at the actual votes that were cast. Because just imagine for a second, we find that there's 45,000 ballots less than what the machines reported. And it turns out the 45,000 extra ballots reported by the machine were all in favor of Prop 50. Then we know there was an attempted election engineering, manipulation, fraud taking place to game the system and make Prop 50 pass. And at that point, of course, then we're going to be looking for the culprit of who added 45,000 ballots to the total. So this could get very interesting, ladies and gentlemen. And again, this was like a massive story that just fell out of the clear blue sky. And now we're going to be tracking this like white on rice. So be sure to subscribe to the channel.
Yeah, that was a good one for Nick. I got the next 3 are 5 minutes. Well, it's actually the one is 18, but I'm going to play only 5. It's just an update from that plane crash. So I just want to see what the first 5 minutes.
We refer to the investigator in charge. He is a senior aviation accident investigator, and he has been with the NTSB for 34 years. NTSB, as some of you may know, is an independent federal agency that's charged by Congress with investigating every civil aviation accident in the United States, as well as significant events in other modes of transportation. We are independent. We are not part of the U.S. Department of Transportation. And why that is important to mention is that as part of our investigation, we also have oversight authority in the investigation over the Federal Aviation Administration. We're here to investigate a collision between a Bombardier CRJ 900 with an aircraft rescue and firefighting vehicle while the aircraft was landing at LaGuardia last night around 11:37 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. The airplane was operated by Jazz Aviation, doing business as Air Canada Express, Flight 8646. It had 72 passengers on board and 4 crew on board. 2 firefighters were in the firefighting vehicle. I want to just take a moment and on behalf of the entire National Transportation Safety Board, express our deepest condolences to those who lost loved ones in this terrible tragedy. We also know others have suffered injury, and our sympathies are with each of you as well. I will mention we have 5 members of our Transportation Disaster Assistance Team here on scene, as well as the chief of our Transportation Disaster Assistance Division. They work in concert with the American Red Cross, and thank you to the American Red Cross, to provide resources and information about our investigation. And
Okay, yep. I was just going to get a little time on that and an update. Next one's 5 minutes.
Are expert in threat assessment and common sense mitigation. I've been working on elections solid nonstop for about 6 years now. I have been working in the IT industry for 40 years. I have intrinsic knowledge that would be really important for people to understand. I have evidence right here that I was hoping to show you that can show there are absolutely, I know you guys have heard this, but I've got the proof right here, backdoors built in to electronic voting systems that allow flipping, changing of votes. So the testing labs.
Wow. I can't believe they did that. Did you hear that? Watch it again and pay attention to the time in the upper right corner.
That allow flipping, changing of votes. So the testing labs.
Can you believe that? So much for government transparency, I guess.
What do you guys think of this one?
Well, how about we just put that audio right back where they clipped it out so everyone can hear it. Enjoy.
That allow flipping, changing of votes, infiltrating the system, all built in, set up in a way that makes it easy and untraceable. I can demonstrate this to you even while I'm still here in this building. I'm happy to do so. The testing labs all miss this. Then they're blindly certified. And then we're told, it's shoved down our throats that everything is safe and secure. It's absolutely not. We're being lied to from the very top. The whole thing is built on a pyramid of lies. And we have to stop living these lies. I will educate you. I can show you guys the problems. No issue. I'm happy to do so. But we have to approach this in a common sense form here. We have to be smart about what we're doing. If we're going to make a change, we need to make a change that's actually going to solve the problem and not kick the can down the road. And again, take the control of elections away from where elections belong, which is in the people's hands. And this is not complicated to solve. We're literally filling dots out on paper. We're counting the dots, adding the dots up, and whoever has the most dots wins. That's the entire scope of our elections. So having to use computerized systems to count dots and add the dots up is the most ridiculous waste of money and theft of the very essence of us being American citizens and having a voice that I've ever seen in my life. So thank you all very much. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Mr. Cook. And if I may, the members of the committee, I'd recommend that maybe if you could send it out, whatever evidence that you have.
I'm happy to. And I'm here for today and tomorrow. I'm happy to sit down with anyone and show you firsthand so you can see with your own eyes.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Infiltrating the system, all built in, set up in a way that makes it easy and untraceable. I can demonstrate this to you even while I'm still here in this building. I'm happy to do so. Infiltrating the system, all built in, set up in a way that makes it easy and untraceable. I can demonstrate this to you even while I'm still here in this building. I'm happy to do so.
So, citizens, what do we do now? The powers that be, the government, the corporations, decided they wanted to take over our elections so they could have control over all of us. Yeah, Democrats and Republicans. We, the people, though, are the ones getting screwed while they play their little games and have us fighting with each other. So when are we done? I'd say it's getting pretty close. And to our legislators, our sheriffs, commissioners, election officials, please do the right thing. Now is the time to be courageous. Now is the time to return elections to where they rightfully belong.
Yep.
The citizens of the United States of America. Be bold, be courageous. The people will be with you. Please don't waste another minute. The natives are getting restless.
That was a good one. Next one's 8 minutes.
California election law.
You want to sign up, sir? Pre-signatures. You sign the petition, you get a cigarette. Perfect. Yes, of course, sir. Thank you. You're helping change California laws.
I actually have you on camera saying that you were
on camera handing out cigarettes. Yeah.
Yes,
You
that
signed
is
the
illegal
petition.
for
How is it
election
illegal
laws
to sign a
in
cigarette?
Looks
California.
like we got a
If you sign, you're gonna get something. You're not even being a good investigative
Well, I'm
journalism.
actually trying to
You're
ask
not doing
you.
any investigative journalism. Get the out of here. You don't belong here.
They're doing that all day long. I watch them when they tell the people that if you get, sign up, they'll give them X amount of money and all that stuff.
This is Savannah Hernandez in Los Angeles on Skid Row.
You erased your message there. I wasn't sure. Doing good. How about you? Thanks for coming in. We're going to go to 8 o'clock tonight.
Now, I have been a part of a multi-journalist investigation targeting alleged voter registration fraud and bribery that has been happening on the streets of Skid Row every single day. Now, apparently petitioners have been coming down to these streets, targeting the homeless specifically, and trying to register them to vote using allegedly fraudulent information. On top of that, they have been offering them bribes such as cash or cigarettes to sign these petitions. Now, per California election law, this is all illegal, by the way. However, we captured this on footage. Multiple other journalists have captured this on footage, and this resulted in our undercover journalist being threatened and me being swarmed after I confronted the people doing it.
You guys got a light?
Well, first I need to sign people up.
You guys got a light?
Yes. If you want to sign the petition, you get a free cigarette.
Oh, what is this?
Just stricter policies on Uber drivers for women sexual harassment. You get a free cigarette when you sign.
What kind? What kind?
USA Gold. That's what.
Okay. Okay. What company or what organization?
Well, we work with the Southern California. With the Southern California District, right here in City Hall.
Oh, okay.
Did you want to sign up, sir? Pre-signatures. If you sign the petition, you get a cigarette. Sure. Perfect. That's how easy it was.
Can we play this one?
Yes, of course, sir. Thank you. You're helping change California laws.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Bleed your feet.
Huh?
Bleed your feet.
Bleed my feet?
Bleed your feet. That means walk, bro. Walk forward. Didn't the homie just tell you to leave already, bro?
Yeah, dude. I'm just.
All right, bleed your feet then.
All right.
Bleed your feet then, bro.
I'm leaving. I'm leaving. I'm leaving.
Now, being a petitioner that gets paid to collect signatures is not illegal in the state of California. However, per Section 18603 in California Election Code, offering people money or anything of value in exchange for signing a petition is. And after our undercover journalist was threatened, I decided to go confront the people doing this for myself. So I'm doing an investigation about how people have been bribing essentially the homeless to sign petitions. We actually got you on camera handing out cigarettes to people to sign petitions.
Yeah, that's cool.
Can I ask you about that?
Why?
Because it's a legal activity.
How is it illegal?
So technically, it's illegal per California election law to bribe people to sign petitions or
No
to
one's
register
bribing
to vote.
anybody. No one's forcing anybody. People have free will, girl.
We actually have you on camera handing out cigarettes to people.
What's up, girl? We out here.
And you work for City Hall, correct?
I work for.
Nice, Kay. Good job.
Doesn't matter who I work for.
Can I get your name?
Why would I give you my name and you're under?
Well, if you're not
like,
committing any
under-
illegal
What's your
activity,
name?
then there shouldn't be any issue, right?
No, look around. Look where we're at.
Sure.
You're targeting me about illegal activity?
This has been a greater part of a multi-series investigation by multiple journalists here in Skid Row. Now, we have caught these people handing out cigarettes, cash, and also telling these people to fill out voter registration forms with fraudulent
I
information.
don't think I did that one.
That you are an employee with City Hall. Why are you guys doing this today?
I'm not an employee with anybody. You're putting words in my mouth. You work with the Southern California district right here in City Hall.
I actually have you on camera saying
She
that
has
you're
me
an
on camera
employee
handing
with
out
City Hall.
cigarettes. Yeah.
Yes,
You
that
signed
is
the
illegal
petition.
per
How is that
election
illegal if you
laws
sign
here
a
in
cigarette?
California.
If you sign, you're gonna get something.
Okay.
People offer money.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we actually have multiple people doing this all over Skid Row all week. Can I just ask you guys about this? If it's not illegal, we shouldn't be freaking out about it, right? Okay. So can I?
You're
get your
coming
name?
at me thinking it's all sweet, like.
Sure. Well, what's going on here? I might just not understand. So can you explain
You
it to
might
me?
not really understand.
Sure. So can you explain it to me?
Yeah, we're doing petitions for sexual harassment. I don't know what this government voting is. Sexual harassment on Uber drivers for stricter policies, and we just need voters. We need people to sign. We need people to sign so we can get the legislation a lot more stricter for the women's stricter policies on Uber drivers for women's rights. You're not even reading a good investigative
Well,
journalism.
I'm actually trying to
You're not
ask
doing
you.
any investigative journalism. You don't belong here. You're not helping anything. You're trying to help your little career.
Can I ask what you're helping?
I help the community. I do free cell phones. If you need a free cell phone, if you have EBT or Medical, you qualify for a free cell phone. And I'm out here Monday through Sunday signing everybody up for a free cell phone.
Is that what the petitions today
The
were
petitions
for?
have nothing to do with the cell phone.
So what were the petitions for?
The petitions are for something totally different.
They're doing that shit all day long. I watched them when they tell people that if they can, sign up, they'll give them X amount of money and all that stuff. And I trip out like, you got these guys who are meth addicts, crack addicts, and the whole 9 yards, and that's not right what they're doing, but they do it out here. They do it. They come right up to them. How you like to make $3? How you like to make $5?
And they're getting them to sign these petitions and register to vote? Have they ever asked you that?
Yeah, I was telling them no.
They don't really give you much information other than, hey, I'll throw you a couple bucks or I'll throw you some weed. This guy, for example, was going to give me some weed. So I said, sure, why not? One signature turned into like 10 signatures turned into a voter registration form, which he told me nothing about, and signed me up and signed me as a Republican, and didn't say anything about it. The only way I knew was because I read like what I'm signing. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. So I think there's a lot of people that are out here that are registered to vote that they don't even realize it, and they're probably registered in the wrong party.
Back in 2018, 9 people were charged for this exact same crime, yet it's still happening here on the streets every single day. Now, a lot of people as well, because we are in an election year, have voter fraud on the mind, and they want to make sure that elections are safe and secure. However, this is an example of how easy it is to potentially manipulate voter registration here in California.
Okay, there, another one there. A reporter, private reporter there, like Nick Shirley. Okay, one more video, guys. We're going to finish up with Chicago, the mayor one. I think it's a new one. If it's old, let me know. I think it's a new one. And it's going to be about 15. I'll be back at 5 tomorrow.
And this new information is for.
I think there is a culture in this office where when you work to hold people accountable, you become a target.
And Gary and Gatewood, Chicago's first deputy mayor for public safety, has been fired. Manny Whitfield, director of violence prevention, was also let go. He says he was given no reason today for the sudden termination other than they wanted to go in a different direction.
Many people do not know what the plan is. In addition to not knowing what the plan is, in the deeper concern is also about the inconsistency and changes in the plan.
More than 20 city council members have now signed a letter condemning the move and what they call character assassination from the mayor's office.
So Chicago just had its lowest murder rate in 60 years. 60. You'd think the man that is responsible for that, the guy the mayor himself gave credit for driving the violence down, would be getting some kind of promotion. Maybe a raise, maybe a little press conference, something positive. Instead, he got fired. No explanation. The mayor didn't even pick up the phone, just sent 2 staffers to his office and said, we're going in a different direction. Different direction from what? Less murder? I'm confused. Let's get into it.
That's a position Mayor Johnson created days after taking office in 2023, and Gatewood has held it since the beginning. He says he was given no reason today for the sudden termination other than they wanted to go in a different direction. But Gatewood says the direction he set forth helped bring the city's homicide level down to its lowest point in 30 years, and he's confused on what he did wrong.
So this past Thursday, Mayor Brandon Johnson fired his deputy mayor for community safety. And look, this wasn't some random mid-level position. Johnson created this role himself, handpicked Gatewood for the job. And for nearly 3 years, Gatewood was the guy. At the crime scenes, at the funerals for the fallen officers, coordinating with CPD, with community organizations, with aldermen. He was the face of this administration's whole public safety plan. And here's the thing, it looks like it may have been working. 4 consecutive years of declining homicides. The city went from 617 murders down to 460. Now I know that's still a lot of murders, but for Chicago, things are a little better. But here's where things get ugly. Gatewood says that the mayor didn't even talk to him directly. The termination came from this chief of staff and the mayor's senior advisor by the name of Jason Lee. Remember that name, because we're gonna come back to Jason Lee in a second. They told Gatewood they wanted to go in a different direction, to focus more on policy. That's it. No performance review, no warning, no details, just you're done, pack your shit, you're out of here. They also fired Manny Whitfield, his director of violence prevention. 2 key public safety leaders gone in one afternoon. And get this, Gatewood's own first deputy, Jason Stanford, had recently resigned because of, in Gatewood's words, a lack of quality of work in his office. But after they fired Gatewood, they asked Stanford to come back to replace him. Think about that for a second. Who quit because the environment wasn't working is now being asked to run it. You can't make this stuff up. But listen to how Alderman Brian Hopkins described what he thinks is really going on.
Gary and Gatewood, as the deputy mayor of public safety, believes in public safety and believes in holding criminals accountable. And that sometimes means arresting them, prosecuting them, and sending them to jail. That is not the philosophy of this mayor and many other people who advise the mayor on public safety and policing issues. You know, the mayor, remember, in his campaign, talked about defunding the police.
So this is an alderman on record saying that Gatewood's problem is that he actually believed in holding criminals accountable, and that belief did not align with the mayor's philosophy. That's not me speculating. That's an elected official in Chicago saying the quiet part out loud. This is a mayor who campaigned on defunding the police, and the man he put in charge of public safety apparently took his job too seriously. I mean, you cannot make this stuff up. Now, what's wild about this whole thing is that Gatewood did not go out quietly, not even a little bit. He sat down for many interviews on the same day he was fired and laid out his record with the kind of clarity that tells you this man knows exactly what he accomplished, and he's not going to let anyone rewrite it. Listen to this.
I think when we think about policies, we think about the work that's happened over the last few years. We started at 617 homicides, down to 582 homicides, and just this past year, 416 homicides. So I would like to believe that the work that I was fortunate enough to lead, along with my partners in the Chicago Police Department, the Chicago Fire Department, so many community-based organizations, so many of our elected officials at the state level, the county level, and at the city level, who really worked hard. I'm honored that we were able to work to help save lives in the city. But they said they wanted to go in a different direction, and that is their prerogative.
But they didn't tell you what direction that is or what was wrong with the direction you were going? I mean, if murders are coming down, then why would they go in a different direction?
617 down to 460. Now, listen, that's still a lot of damn murders,
wow.
but it looks like something is working. I mean, it's better than nothing. He's working hand in hand with the cops, community organizers, elected officials at every level, and they hit him with a different direction without telling him what that direction even is. You fired a man that helped deliver a 60-year low in murders, and you can't articulate why? That's not a policy decision. It looks like it's a personal decision, plain and simple. And Gatewood made it personal right back. Not with anger, though, with the truth, the facts. Because when they asked him what is really going on inside the mayor's office, he dropped the line I think is going to define this entire scandal. Check this out.
I think there is a culture in this office where when you work to hold people accountable, you become a target. And I am not the first person to say that. That is out in the public sphere. I am not surprised that this was a route to go. I am at peace, Paris. I am. My work cannot be questioned.
I am Captain Jonah Veritek. If you are seeing this message, remember, do not respond to any distress signal from the death system. We found an entire graveyard of drifting warships, still sailing. Then the communicator whispered, "Welcome home." The alarm screamed.
What we were able to deliver cannot be questioned. And I am hopeful that that positive work continues to move forward because ultimately it is bigger than me. It's bigger than any one individual. It's about the people who live in this city.
And we kind of got into, but when you say work to hold people accountable, who were you holding accountable for what?
Well, listen, if there is a mass shooting, the largest mass shooting in the history of our city, people have to pick up the phone. People have to show up. People have to be there for the people that we say we care about.
What did this man say? There is a culture in this office where you work to hold people accountable, you become a target. And he said he's not the first person to say this. That's not a disgruntled employee venting on his way out the door. He's talking about a pattern of being described by someone who's lived it from the inside for 3 years. And when he went further, talking about the largest mass shooting in the city's history and saying that people need to pick up the phone, people need to show up, he's not being subtle here. He's saying that leadership was absent when it mattered the most. And it seems like he got fired for pointing it out. Okay, now here's where the receipts really start to stack up here. Do you remember Jason Lee, the senior advisor that told the deputy mayor to get the hell out of there? Back in October 2025, Chicago's inspector general recommended that Lee to be fired and be placed on the do not hire list. Why? Because Lee refused to cooperate with an investigation. And Alderman Bill Conway accused Lee of conditioning city services on Conway's vote for the mayor's legislative agenda. Basically, an alleged kickback. Help the mayor pass his tax plan or your ward doesn't get help cleaning up the dangerous homeless encampment.
Alderman Bill Conway says it was 2 years ago when mayoral advisor Jason Lee took him into the room to offer the 34th Ward alderman a deal.
The mayor's office tried to extort my vote in exchange for basic public safety services.
Conway says Lee offered to clean up the encampment in exchange for Conway's vote on the real estate transfer tax.
And that was a basic public safety service that every ward should get and shouldn't be tied to legislative votes.
Mayor Johnson refuses to fire Lee because the mayor's office claims Lee would only cooperate with an attorney present. A statement reads in part, quote, "There's no justification for imposing discipline on a staffer who is engaged in no wrongdoing and who merely asserted their right to counsel."
That's what is being alleged right now. Lee wouldn't sit down for an interview. Of course not. And the IG couldn't complete the investigation. What she says about every city employee who refuses to cooperate, fire them. 3 other city departments agreed to fire their employees under the same circumstances. Only one office refused. Guess which one? The mayor's office. Brandon Johnson kept Jason Lee on the payroll at $195,000 a year. So let me make sure I'm reading this right and let me know in the comments below if you agree with me. The man the inspector general said should be fired for obstructing an investigation is still employed. The man who delivered the historic crime reductions is gone, escorted out of the building, got his walking papers. That's the culture Gatewood is describing. That's what accountability gets you on the 5th floor of Chicago's City Hall. It's not just Gatewood raising alarms. More than 20 aldermen signed a letter condemning the firing and calling out what they describe as character assassination from the mayor's office.
Outsmart the market with Base 44 super agents.
Your show
Set
will
up in
be on in
seconds
the morning,
and ready to go. Want to know what your competitors are up to?
More than 20 city council members have now signed a letter condemning the move and what they call character assassination from the mayor's office. We've claims that Gatewood presided over a hostile work environment.
He tells us hearing of these allegations has been shocking. He says he has always strived to create an environment for people to grow and feel supported. He denies the allegations as false.
Community organizations that work with this man on violence prevention are expressing some serious concerns. Even faith leaders who partnered with his office are now questioning whether this administration even has a plan heading into the summer, the season where violence historically spikes. Great timing, by the way.
The move took many by surprise, including members of the Chicago Faith Leader Coalition, who worked with the former deputy mayor on violence prevention strategies.
Many people do not know what the plan is. In addition to not knowing what the plan is, the deeper concern is also about the inconsistency and changes in the plan.
Sources inside City Hall have told WGN that Gatewood's termination has to do with allegations of a hostile work environment. WGN spoke with Gatewood over the phone. He tells us hearing of these allegations has been shocking. He says he has always strived to create an environment for people to grow and feel supported. He denies the allegations as false.
It's a bit confusing to see that they went a different direction when this is a person who understands the people's agenda and who understands the importance of advancing a progressive agenda.
Quote, most people do not know what the plan is. That's the faith leader, someone who works directly with this administration on preventing violence. And she's saying that the inconsistency and the constant changes are a deeper concern. Because here's the thing, after the firing, the mayor's office tried to clean this up by leaking allegations that Gatewood ran a hostile work environment. But, and this part is important, they admitted that this was not the reason given to him when they actually fired him. They told him different direction. The hostile work environment narrative came after. Very convenient, right? Gatewood obviously denies it. His policy advisor went on record saying that she never saw any indication of hostility towards women. So what's the actual reason here? Because different direction is not a reason. So let's try to connect the dots real quick because this is not an isolated incident. This is year 3 of Brandon Johnson's administration, and the pattern is clear. Anyone who pushes back, anyone who tries to hold anyone accountable, anyone who doesn't fall in line, they get fired. The entire CPS Board of Education resigned last year because of the dispute between Johnson and the CEO he wanted gone, Pedro Martinez. His first communications director, Ronnie Reese, kept on for months despite multiple harassment complaints from staffers because he was a close friend of the mayor. Reese literally told people he was untouchable. Senior staff turnover has been relentless. And get this, the same week Gatewood was fired, a former city official filed a whistleblower lawsuit alleged that she was fired in retaliation for agreeing to cooperate with the Inspector General investigation. Same week. You cannot make this up. That's not bad luck. That's a culture. And the people of Chicago can see it because the approval numbers tell the whole story. One poll has Brandon Johnson at 6.6% approval. 6.6. For context, the U.S. Congress, which everyone loves to hate, polls at 17%. Johnson is polling below Congress. He is polling lower than his own predecessor, Lori Lightfoot, who couldn't even make it to the runoff. Nearly 80% of the people in Chicago view him unfavorably. And when they asked voters if the election was held today, only 8% said they'll re-elect him. 8%. That's not a mandate. That is like a margin of error here. This right here is why this firing matters. It's not about just one deputy mayor losing a job. It's about a mayor who is so deep in the power struggle that he'll throw away his own success story to protect the insiders who shield him from accountability. He'll keep an advisor the AG said that should be fired. He'll dump a leader who actually got some results, and he'll hide behind the "we don't comment on personnel matters" every single time like clockwork. Chicago deserves answers. 20 plus aldermen are demanding them. Faith leaders are demanding them. Community organizations are demanding them. And the people who live in the neighborhoods where Gatewood actually showed up at the crime scenes, at the vigils, in the worst moments, they deserve to know why the man who was there for them got thrown away by the man who wasn't. We will continue to see exactly what the hell is going on here. We're back in Chicago. Well, not literally, but we'll be talking about this god-awful mayor. The worst mayor in America is Brandon Johnson. It doesn't even come close. We will continue to follow this nonsense. Let me know what you guys think about the situation in the comments below. Thank you for taking time to watch this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
This guy
sometimes baby steps turn out to be giant leaps.
He's a new guy on YouTube. I just now following him. He has a lot of views on his. Okay, we're going to wrap things up, you guys. We're going to take it easy for a while with one show, about 3 hours. Unless something happens in the morning, if there's any big breaking news. So, good to see you, the one from Aruba tonight. 5 o'clock tomorrow night. So thanks everybody. And Rod, Kate, will you be quiet for a minute? Rod, Kate, Lucy, Harold, Tim, Ryan, Eagle. And God bless everybody, love all, and please hit like, make sure the new people sub to the backup channel, please, and thank you. Stay safe, stay strong, get to pay. Hopefully the movie will be over soon. Signing off for tonight. Chico Dude. Never give up. Love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow evening. Yep, he will.